like Benson, I'm a Who Dat.
I'm a Who Dat.
Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. Welcome. We're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the fam. Shout out to the fam. Shout out to the fam. Hope you guys doing all right. Man, listen, man, we got a lot to talk about on this episode of the Coma. Of course, you see on screen right now, we currently are waiting for the press conference in which Kellen Moore is supposed to be dropping some game. But until then, we kind of waiting on it. We're going to pump that sucker right on in as soon as it's made available. But big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the live, man. Y'all hit the like button for me. If y'all hear everything good, please feel free to put one in the chat if you can hear me. All right. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you for being in this thing. All right. So anyway, man, listen, man, we're going to go over the roster breakdown. We're going to catch Kellen Moore's interview momentarily and see what he got to say about the Saints. A lot of moves have been made. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all, fam. What's up, OG? I see you there, bro. Appreciate you there, OG Jerry. Snake Bite Cartel. Kathleen, shout out to the Queens and Kings of the Coma. Let's see who else we got here. Young City 9. Brother Byron, shout out to you as well, my man. Appreciate you as always. What's up, KK, baby? Shout out to you. Check Hayner's gone. He's on the practice squad. He ain't gone too far. But hey, listen, man. I got to get, I'm a fair guy. I'm going to tell the truth. Now, listen. I was saying, hey, man, it's the Saints. They're not going to get rid of Isaiah. They're not going to this, that, and the third. Man, listen. Kellen Moore said, I'm going to show you. You wear that Show Me shirt made by T Dirty, we going to show your ass. So they put Isaiah Foskey, the snowman, on the street. They put DeMarco Jackson, who got picked up, by the way. DeMarco was one of the people that was not claimed. The Saints wanted to bring Murray back, but he was claimed by Dennis Allen's Chicago Bear Club. We also lost Rico Payton to the Giants. So we lost Rico Payton and DeMarco Jackson. He went to the Bears. Rico went to the Giants. But it does give the sense, and I don't see how too many Black and Gold family members. What's up, J-Rock? What's up, brother Tron? Shout out to you. All right. Big ups to the rest of the fam. What's up, Hoodie? Shout out to my guy, Hoodie. What's up, brother Adrian? Shout out to you, man. Good to see you in the chat. 985J in the building. What's up, my brother? How you doing? L-Dub, what's happening, bro? Big ups to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. The Great Saint Think Tank is in full effect. What's up, Debo? Shout out to my guy, Debo Booker. Big ups to you as well, fam. Give me a Who Dat if I missed you, fam. If I missed you, y'all give me a Who Dat. I always like, man, giving a shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. A lot of these guys out here don't like to give shots out to the family members that make them who they are. I'm not like that. I don't care how many years I've been doing this. You got to give love to the people that give love to you. Montreal, shout out to you, man. Always take time. I don't care how much time it is to get the word and appreciate the fam, because I really do appreciate you guys. All right, for putting up my rough, tough talk about the black and gold and keeping it trill for years and years. So big ups to you, man. What's up, CJ? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Asa, who that to you? Asa, I see you, fam. All right. Yeah. Maul, I always represented LSU, baby. Always represented LSU, but I'm telling y'all, I've been talking. See, you don't be listening to Tough Tiger Talk, bro. We've been doing Tough Tiger Talk almost as long as we've been doing the coma, bro. Where you been at, Maul? Where you been at, bro? All right, what's up, Frosty? Frosty 504, brother Willie Cameron. Big ups to you, man. Much love. Good to see y'all in the building. All right, yeah, this year, man, we expecting good things in Tigerland, man. Y'all subscribe, my LSU people, subscribe to the Tough Tiger Talk. Links in the description section. All right, thank you, Fortnite Plays 2008. Said, appreciate your podcast. Love your fairness. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man, for that, man. It's all good. I know Marley. Shout out to you, bro. But anyway, man, listen. Listen. Right now, the Saints are having technical difficulties, it appears, with their stuff, getting ready to try to get that Kellen Moore stuff up. But what I was going to do was do the Kellen Moore thing, then segue out of that to the news. Now, this is the show we kind of breaking down and talking about the 53-man roster, the practice squads, and thoughts thereon about what's going on with that unit. And like I said, man, we talked about this before. And all I can say is, man, listen, the Saints offense, when they came, like at first, everything was like, we good. We ain't got nothing to worry about over here. We all right. And then all of a sudden, they got the mad dashing their ass off. They got the mad dashing Everett, didn't they? Fam, the reality is the Saints got them another wide receiver, a 6'5" wide receiver we talked about. The Saints then got another speedster wide receiver. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go over this roster. The backup offensive line is almost a new unit. They traded for Xavier Truss, which is a guy that played guard and tackle. They hold on. They signed Xavier. They claimed Xavier Truss off the wire. They traded for Asim Richards from the Cowboys. So they traded for a tackle. They claimed a guard who could play tackle as well from off of waivers. They still have Torricelli Simpkins there. They traded for Luke Fortner, and they signed Dylan Redunce, who's going to be moved into the start. The Saints got, outside of Torricelli Simpkins, they got pretty much a new group of backups on the line. And fam, listen, those backups that the Saints have are better than the backups they had. So the message rings true. Like, hey man, y'all need to get a big wide receiver. They went and traded for one, got one. Right? And some people believe they spent a little too much on it, but nonetheless, they felt like they got it. Then the Saints went and traded for an offensive tackle. They traded for a backup center. They claimed a offensive lineman off of waivers, and they did improve. Now, for all intents and purposes, Fortner is better, in my opinion, than Will Clapp is. There might not be much jump there, but I still consider that an upgrade. Asim Richards, to me, is better than some of them other guys that was up there, like the Barry Wesleys and all these kind of old guys. I would consider it, even if it's a slight upgrade, it's an upgrade nonetheless. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how this plays out. So it's going to be very interesting this season, man. Because I was looking at, I don't want to play all of the stuff that people were sending me about these damn well, I ain't gonna say that, man. They got, they kind of saying, "Oh no, the Saints is going to be woefully bad. They're going to be less than 5." I don't see the Saints. Listen, fam, the Saints is not going to lose no 5. I mean, they're not going to win only 5 games. You know, I think they win more than 5 games. Hell, like I've said before, the mere fact that they got rid of Dennis Allen, I'll spot you 2 wins. Hey, I'll spot your ass 2 wins. I would spot you 2 wins by the mere fact that you got rid of Dennis Allen. Because Dennis Allen, as a dumb head coach, cost the Saints they cost them a lot of victories last year. He did. Kellen Moore, to me, is an upgrade over that fool. And outside of that, what is the ceiling and floor of the team? Like, a lot of people want to see the Saints win the NFC South, but realistically speaking, how far can this team climb? People say, Q, we undergoing a rebuild. And you know, you are correct. The Saints are under some sort of remodeling. But you know, I often thought that in order for the full remodel to happen, they need to get that oh, hold on now. Don't you start on me now, goddammit. Oh, hold on now. Oh, don't you go there, Q. Oh, yeah, okay, Mickey. But you know, that's what I would start at. I would start there first, but hell, whatever, right? What's up, Avery? Shout out to Avery, says Simpkins will wind up a star. I would love that, bro. Listen, I would absolutely love for that to happen, to be honest with you, man. I think Torrey Sally Simpkins gives us a better forceful guard than Cesar. People recognizing the folly of Cesar Ruiz and how Cesar Ruiz been looking lately. Struggling up against the backups in 2s, and you supposed to be 6 years in the league. You supposed to be, what the hell, man? That's the thing that got me kind of flustered. Why the hell are you struggling? You know? well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he's struggling because his technique is not all that good. His footwork is not all that good. You know? What's up, Ro? Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you for being in the stream. Like I said, I'm watching to see if this Saints live stream, they just put up something saying they got some type of issues going on here on YouTube. But and hold on, let me see if I can kind of put it up. It might be on right now on somewhere else. I don't know. They got issues going on there. I don't know. But anyway, the bottom line is, fam, they got something going on online from the Saints standpoint where they can't do it. They put a link up to go to the site, and hold on, I gotta see if I can take my cookies off of here. I mean, the something going on where they're not letting me watch it. I don't know if it's, and I ain't got time to figure it out. So we'll just kind of look at that thing at another date. But anyway, fam, let's just kind of get right into it, man. Y'all do me a service, man. Hit that like button, man. We up in this thing, man. We're gonna talk some Saints, man, for an hour or so. Midday Saints talk. All right. Okay, Hoodie. Hoodie put it on the website there. Thank you, Hoodie. Let me see if I can put that up there, my brother. Because I think, yeah, I see they got it there. For whatever reason. Hold on here. Let me see if I can get it there. And see if I can pick it up. Yeah, I might have to do something here. Hold on. Yeah, it says you're unable to interact. All right, hold on. Let me go. They said the cookies. You got to do something with the cookies. And all this bull crap. Hold on here. I really don't feel like doing all that. I ain't gonna lie. I just want to talk my shit and go ahead. All right. Anyway, hold on, man. We're just gonna deal with it. You know what? We're just gonna. Y'all should have y'all stuff right. No. All right. Anyway, man. Let's keep it moving, man. I'll set it up when I get done with the talking. All right. So anyway, big ups to y'all, man. I'd rather talk to y'all anyway. Big ups to the fam. Who that daddy? I see you, brother. L Dub says K-Mo just said Penning is out his walking boot, but doesn't have a substantial update on the progress. You may be looking at 3 to 4 weeks on Trevor Penning, bro. You don't want to rush that thing. I would give, when you have a turf toe like that, and he got hurt when? A couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks before the start of the season. So, I don't know. I would still give it some time on the turf toe, man. You know, if you don't do that right, them turf toes linger. You know, they've got better treating it over the years, but that turf toe, you remember there was a time, fam, when the turf toe would literally sideline you for the season because if you ain't took care of it correctly, it would linger. It's one of those things that will linger on like a groin injury. Like you pull your groin, and then they do all this other kind of stuff. But if you don't take care of it correctly, it would then linger on. All right, J Rock says I think the Saints will win 6 to 8 games. Thank you, bro. What's up, Poppy 504? Shout out to you. Asa says Caesar has never been good. He had one decent year, boys trash. I agree, bro. The one good year was the year before he got his pay. He stepped up and got his pay. Willie says replace Caesar with Torrey Sally Simpkins. I agree with that, bro. I think Torrey Sally Simpkins has the ability to be better than Cesar Ruiz. Cesar Ruiz is never going to be an all-pro guard, bro. He's never going to be an all-pro guard. Y'all, pardon me, I'm getting messages and every damn thing. But yeah, he's never ever going to be. And listen, I don't want to disparage Cesar Ruiz. He's doing a good job of doing that himself. But in the end, I think Torrey Sally Simpkins give us a better opportunity. I mean, I think all great Saint think tank minds are in unison on that. We want to see the most supreme guard play. And Torrey Sally Simpkins shows not the wherewithal as a player. Like you remember, he was plays when you see Torrey Sally Simpkins block to the right, then go and look somewhere else and block to the left, right? And having the aggression, the physicality, and the mindset. I think if you focus on him, you can turn this undrafted guard into a very serious starter because we don't have that. Like we could take a Carl Granderson, turn Carl Granderson into a starter, this type of thing. But when you look over here at Torrey Sally Simpkins, to me, I think he should be. But the Saints were going to keep Cesar Sally Ruiz there simply because they're paying him a boatload of cash to do that. So yeah, they and that's that thing, man, about these draft picks. But when to go back to the Isaiah Foskey thing, which is, and we'll talk about the surprising cuts, was the Jake Haener putting Jake Haener in the street, Isaiah Foskey, DeMarco Murray, DeMarco Jackson, they just said, okay, enough is enough. We need the best players. Let's go for it. That's simply what wasn't the case over the last 4 years. Now they did keep your boy Cedric Wilson Jr. for a little bit before releasing him to the practice squad because they picked up Trey Palmer and they claimed Palmer off of waivers. So it was very interesting. What's up, Andrew? Shout out to Andrew, man. We're out there in San Antonio. Shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate you. Mr. O says Ruiz is the McRib. He shows up on a limited time basis. That's right. All right. Debo says, Q, this is the third time Penny had turf toe. Goddamn. LOL. Yeah. Goddamn. He says, Ruiz was a waste of a first round pick. We did a lot of bad high drafting, bro. And it comes to bear home. The Davenport first round pick, the Peyton Turner first round pick, the Isaiah Foskey second round pick. Those picks have not bore fruit. The Saints have not. Some of these guys just was not first round players. Peyton Turner was not a first rounder. Neither was Davenport. These guys was drafted on potential. And that ain't all. That's not what you're supposed to be looking at. If you sitting up there in the draft, and remember that Davenport pick, they chose that guy over Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson arguably one of the top 3 best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. That's how stupid the Saints were with the drafting lately. It's just awful. All right. Corin says, I heard an interview. What's up, Corin? Best Music says, I heard an interview with Cesar Ruiz. He was boasting about how he only gave up 1 sack, in which he proceeded to say that the guy did a spin move that surprised him. Simpkins should be, yes, indeed, bro. He was sit up there patting his own damn back. That what he was doing? Caesar Salad was patting his own back, bro. That's what you saying? Cesar Ruiz sitting up there patting his own back. How you love that? See, that's what I'm saying, man. Most of the time, when you see foolishness and delusional people like that, you got to straighten that shit out. Cesar Ruiz, you're not good, bro. You're not good. You know you're not good. And they don't even recognize you as being good. I don't care about the PFF grades and all this bullshit. You know, even the fake ass all pro list that they do nowadays when they just give you a Pro Bowl, they ain't do that to Cesar Ruiz. He's not that guy. I don't know. He's I only gave up one sack. But how many times they beating you to force the quarterback to make an early throw and disrupt the play? Are we counting that as well? Because listen, Playboy, I watched that damn tape. You can argue and play games and be delusional all you want. I don't play games and be delusional with that damn tape. That tape shows you that you getting ran up out of there and pushed around. And even though the guy might be smart enough to move out the way and avoid the sack, you're you opening the door for the people to blitz to come in there. You did that the preseason. And like I said, man, it's time for people to focus on that guy. If he's gonna be delusional, we got to put pressure on him, run him up, to put pressure on Torres Ellis Simpkins to get in there. But don't worry, it's gonna happen naturally when people start seeing him get beat on Sundays because he ain't handling his business. He ain't pushing guys out of there, all that kind of stuff. What's up, Black Major? Shout out to you, bro. All right, what's up, Tamika, baby? Shout out to Tamika, Colorado. Big ups to you. Yeah, bro. He's up there patting himself on the back. Hey, I've been one sack. But how many times you're allowing rushes to happen to disrupt the flow of the offense back there? That's not a stat. But in the end, Cesar must improve. But the Saints have been horrible at drafting these first round picks. You can throw Trevor Penning in there. Even though Penning is here, that's an indictment for the Saints to be able to move that man from tackle to tackle, not because he's versatile, because he can't find a spot to play effectively. It's not the same like with Andrews Pete. Like they would use Andrews Pete to play different spots here or there. That guy could play tackle. He could play guard. He could play it on either side. It's different when you finding a guy and the guy can't play over here. He can't play over there because and listen, the reason he can't play over here, over there on the left, because he ain't good over there. He can't play over there on the right because the other guy over there better than him over there. He just got here a couple years ago. So let's kick him inside and see if he can do right there. They're trying to find any place they could find to put that man to make it valid for him. And it simply ain't working. It's not happening. You know, so it simply is what it is. All right. Yeah, that's he got the turf toe issue now. That'll stall out his development. So when he gets back in about 2 or 3 weeks, however long they'll keep him out, he'll come back, he'll reset because you could practice and then you'll see, because I've seen it happen with him before. Then he'll reset the bad technique, right? The presets, the settings, he will then reset his presets is bad technique a lot of times. What I mean by that is he does a lot of good things well. He's a big athletic guy, but playing the guard position for a big guy like that, you got to be able to bend his knees and leverages your game. But Penning blocks up a high. When he's in trouble, he blocks up high and grabs the shoulder pads of the guy that's coming at him, and then the guy just walking him back into the quarterback. That's poor technique. You can't do that. So that's what I'm concerned about by him. But if you got a guy that plays the spot there, Torres Ellis Simpkins is a better guard than Penning right now. And in a little bit, he'd be better than Cesar Ruiz. So you might have found somebody, but the Saints trying to validate a first round pick. All right. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you, bro, for that game. All right. William, what's up, brother? William Francis Curley. What's happening, bro? Says Saints going 9 to 10 games. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate that. All right. Big ups to you. Avery says Palmer is a replacement for Brandon Cook's surprise retirement announcement. I don't know, bro. We'll see if he goes somewhere, bro. We'll see. All right. What's up, Nola Black? What's up, my brother? How you doing, man? Appreciate you, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you for your support, my man. Thank you for being here. Black Major is joining as a member. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for that. Hey, big ups to you, bro. Appreciate that, man. All right, what's up, Ricky? Big ups to you. He says Trevor ain't the problem. He says Caesar is. Wait, listen, bro. Cesar Ruiz, man, had all the time in the world, bro. But yeah, I guess if you won't focus on problems, you got only a certain amount of time. I guess Cesar would be the guy you look at because he's the guy with the money, right? Michaels, what's up, Michael? Says Q, I agree. Our guards are a big weakness. Bro, listen, we got to see that. Like I was saying about Kellen Moore, I like Kellen Moore. But Kellen Moore, and I told the family members this, y'all put one in the chat if y'all remember this, because we talk about this all the time. Man, Kellen Moore, I said, fam, listen, Kellen Moore is a good young coach. He don't know this team, right? I said, you are the Who Dat Nation. You know your team. You know the strengths and the weaknesses of your team. You know your team. You know them. He doesn't know him. He just got here not too long ago. So he's still doing his evaluations right now to figure out what he needs to do to turn things around. But when Kellen Moore first stepped through the door, the first thing I talked about was fixing your line. Now, all these national people are talking about the fact that the Saints are going to be the worst team in the NFL. They're going to be lined up for the first round pick, all this kind of stuff. Now, that's all. It all depends. It depends. It depends on a series of things. Number one is how fast do the Saints learn? How fast do the Saints? How intelligent is this group of Saints players? I'm talking about collectively, not individually, because obviously we got a lot of smart players. But I'm saying as a grand collective, how intelligent are the Saints? Because once we can figure that out, then we can find out how disciplined are the Saints, because intelligence is tied to that discipline principle. So if we're intelligent, that means we're going to learn fast. We're going to execute. If we're intelligent, that means that we're going to be more likely to be more disciplined. Because if we're intelligent, meaning that we're picking up things, we're executing, we're making the moves that we're supposed to be making, then that will lead to more of a chance of us being successful. Because I'm saying that because if we're not that and we're delusional and we're slow, we're not going to win. We'll win 6 games, we'll win 6 games or so. But I like what I'm seeing from Kellen Moore, because we said, hey man, you need to do this, you need to do that. And at first nothing was done until he got a good look at some of them people. Then some of them guys started getting hurt, and then that started hastening him going to get other players, right? So I can appreciate what the Saints are doing because, like I said, the line that are backup offensive linemen are most of them, except for Torrey Simpkins, they're all new. They trade the Xavier Ruscat, the Asim Richards guy from the trade from the Cowboys. These guys just in Fortner, who we traded for Saunders. These are new players, so they totally went and got better backups. Literally went and got better backups. Went and literally, because you cannot play with that line. That offensive line cannot be a point of weakness if you're trying to have any success. And that means offense and defensive lines have to be strong. Before we even get to the quarterback, it don't make no difference if you have the best quarterback in the world. If you don't have a line that's going to help him run the ball and protect him when he's standing up there looking to throw, then you're not going to have much success at all. So I would focus on the lines. How strong are the lines? We see the tackles, the bookend tackles are good. We know McCoy in the middle is good, but there's questions at Penning at guard and Ruiz at guard. Shouldn't be a question about Ruiz. Should be one spot there. But ultimately, Dylan Radunz steps in at that guard position. Can he hold it down? He a big guy, but can he open up lines and lanes rather for the Saints to be able to run with Elvin Kamara? Because that's what it's going to come down to. That success is all predicated and based on the overall collective intelligence of this team. How fast do they learn? How disciplined is this team? Because if they're smart and disciplined, they're less likely to have pre-snap penalties that ultimately lead to you getting beat. Like these stupid pre-snap penalties, the false starts, all this nonsense that get us beat. Because we've seen the Saints offense in a small portion of the first team get some stuff done, and then they'll have a false start or a holding penalty or whatever the case, backs them up, and they have difficulty getting the yards back. If you make a mistake, can you fix your mistake or be hindered by it? All this stuff will be determined as we roll into the season. That will ultimately decide how intelligent this team is, because it appears that Kellen Moore is going to go and get players if he sees that he needs them, right? And we still not done. There's still rumors circulating around. The Saints are still looking to add players to fix this team before the season. So it'll be very interesting, to say the least. All right. Anyway, man, what's up, Joe? Shout out to Joseph Archino, man. Brother Derek Branch is in the building. Much love, bro. Good to see you, brother. Sean says can't overhaul the entire team in one season. It'll be a rebuilding process. You don't have to, bro. I don't think, and you're correct, Sean. You're absolutely right, sir. You can't overhaul the team, but you don't need to overhaul the team. What are we talking about? There is no overhaul needed. That's the thing about losing. It's a reason why the Saints lose. Why did they lose the last 4 years? Because they didn't have the talent to win. They had the talent. A lot of it was due to, like, I go back to it. Do not discount the dumb head coach and the stupid general manager making bad decisions for the team with no accountability. Not making a we have to add that to it when we talk about the team. The team is a byproduct, an end result of the brain work of the so-called leaders of the team, which is the head coach and the general manager. Let's not forget. See, I don't just look and say, okay, the team. I think this team doesn't need no major overhaul. It just needs somebody to look at it and say, hey, we need help over here. We need help over there. We need to do this, that, and the third, and let's get it going. You got a top-notch running back in Kamara. Kendre Miller looks good. They got really good running backs. You need a functioning system. You need a strong line. You can fix your lines if you're serious using the draft and free agency in 1 year. You don't need teams don't like the Washington. Like I hate to do this, but we talk about 2 years ago with the Texans. The Texans made trades. They traded around. They drafted your boy CJ. Then they traded back up and got that defensive end. What's his name? And had 2 top-notch players, offense, defense, and then they filled it in with good, smart signings and whatever they had left. And then in 1 year, they was in the goddamn playoffs. They was in the playoffs and had a playoff victory after being a dumpster fire for years. You get what I'm saying? And the Saints are not a dumpster fire. They're not. They were losing because of Mickey Loomis and who he picked to run the team the last 4 years, which was Dennis Allen, which was a horrible selection. The guy had zero accountability. He was stupid as you know what, and he was terrible because he would backstab his players. He lied to Jameis. Jameis came out and told the media. And Mickey was down with it because Mickey's stupid too, because he couldn't. I was like, okay, if you have a problem with the coach and you the quarterback, the starting quarterback supposed to be, who do you go to if the coach don't want to act right? Ain't supposed to go up to the general manager? Ain't that Mickey Loomis? What Mickey Loomis told that Jameis?
Hold on now, Jameis, hold on. You see, hold on. What did Dennis say? Oh, well, I would listen to Dennis. And I support Dennis.
Just no brains at all. What do? So you know what Jameis did? He went to the press. He went to Nick Underhill. He went to Mike Triplett. That's what he did, didn't he? But that shows you there was no leadership there. That's what I'm saying. Let's not forget that side of it, because the team is an end result of the stupid ass coach, and that's why we failed. The coach didn't have a vision, didn't know what he was doing, didn't have any accountability, didn't move coaches that were struggling with play calling, offensive line play, didn't demote them, didn't move them around, and just let it be. He let the offense do whatever they wanted to be. The people was on them to change personnel. The media was on them, and he lied and said changes was going to happen, and no changes never happened until he was fired. Now tell me if I'm wrong. You got to have somebody at the top that's a leader that understands, know how to talk to people and not be delusional, to know how to fix a team. You were missing. You got to strengthen your offensive line and your defensive line. You start there. This shit ain't astrophysics. It's not quantum physics. It's not any of that. It's a simple elementary style football. You build from the inside out. offensive line, defensive line. You get to running the ball and stopping the run. This is, but we don't, and people talk about a rebuild. When you're adding new talent into it, there is some remodeling going on. You got a young head coach who never did it before, and a young quarterback that never had a win in the NFL, and one that's a rookie. So you're going to have some nuance there. But in terms of everywhere else, you have veterans strategically placed throughout the team. Cam, DeMario, Tyron left, but you got Justin Reed, who's a solid veteran. Julian Blackman, that's a good veteran. You got other guys that are here that are positioned to here to help the influx of young talent. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, young, good veterans. Jawan Johnson, young, good, veteran, been here for a while. McCoy, good, young, in the prime of his career. We got you got Kelvin Banks Jr., who's a rookie, and Tolly in his second year, but these guys play like veterans. They learn fast because they're naturals. But we have to be serious about it. We're not that far off from being a team to win, but we have to be able to see if they can get the line play right, and that's where it is. But it's not, you don't have to overhaul no team, not the whole team, because you're not a dumpster fire. You don't have to. And like I said, this year they drafted not 11 players? And people say, Q, they traded this pick, that pick, traded this pick, that pick. Why they do on all that, Q? Because the Saints feel comfortable with the guys that they drafted. They drafted an entire class of people. They had all those draft picks, and they drafted everybody. I think they put released Fadil, but Fadil's on the practice squad, so they still got access to him. So you have all these guys. Matavo made the team. So you got all these guys that they drafted. They felt really good about this draft. So they in their minds, they don't feel like they need a lot of other drafted picks. They still got picks coming up into the future next year, whatever they got. But they take what they built this year under Kellen Moore and add to it. So they feel like they got the quarterback in the future. They feel you still got Elvin Kamara, who's going to be there. Kendre Miller, they're going to Saints just going to keep drafting, add to it. When DeMario leave, you got Danny Stutzman right there, right? The answer at the safety position, you got Jonas Sanker. If Yidam ain't the guy, you got Quincy Riley. Sooner or later, Quincy Riley going to take that nickel job. I mean, he's going to take that corner spot. So you got all kind of stuff going on with the team. So you added people there. That's all, Cam's there, but you got other guys that they drafted like third, Vernon Barkton, a little raw, but they're looking at developing him to a starter next to Brian Bresee. So time will tell, man, where we are, but you don't need a complete overhaul with the team. You need better leadership. And I think Kellen Moore is a smarter coach. I like how he handles and talks to the people. I think he can do some positive things for the Saints. But, like I said, the question about wins all depends and is determined on the overall collective intelligence of the New Orleans Saints. How disciplined is this team? How consistent and thorough are they? Because it all gears to the mindset. I don't care what people tell you. You look at what the Texans did a couple years ago when they came in, they got your boy, DeMeco Ryans walked through the door. He walked through. Remember, they had the whole thing. People was up there 2-3 levels inside the building clapping for him. When DeMeco stepped in the door, they knew they had the guy. And what DeMeco rewarded them by taking the team. Didn't they go to the playoffs last year? Wasn't the Texans in the playoffs last year? Y'all remind me. I forget. But Washington did it with Jaden Daniels. They didn't need when you got a good coach coming there, you fix the QB position, you got a good line to protect them. Things change. Things change. So I mean, anybody can make the right decision, but I don't see it as we need an overhaul. We need an overhaul. We got to just look in the right places. So I appreciate the comment. What's up, LP? How you doing, sir? Tamika said, we may struggle at first putting up points on board, but the defense is going to definitely keep us in the game. Defense been rocking it this whole preseason. Doc said, assuming the media is correct, we are the worst team. I trust the current regime has not screwed up the draft. They're going to say that. They're going to say the Saints are the worst team, all this kind of old stuff, because they're not, they're looking at the quarterback position and they're saying, well, they got an inexperienced quarterback, they're going to struggle. That's not the case. That's not the case. That's not always the case because you have a young, inexperienced quarterback, that the guys struggle. I think they're underselling Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler has been more used to being an underdog than he has been the top guy. You remember when that stuff happened with Oklahoma, and he went to South Carolina, but he played with a chip on his shoulder. When he was saying, man, there's a lot of people. They asked him in an interview recently. A lot of people was talking about, the media. With the media man asked the reporter asked him, hey man, they're talking about you as, there's some word around town, that a lot of people kind of, not really happy. They thought Shuck should have been the guy, this type of stuff. Kind of drew something at him. So Spencer responded, well, you can't listen to the outside noise. We just got to stay locked in, and we got a lot of people and then he differentiated between the positive commentary and the noise. He didn't clarify everything as noise because that's stupid to do that. Because they got people out there that's saying, hey man, we got a good team. We need to do this. We need to do that. There's a difference in good commentary and good comments versus people just saying the Saints suck. The Saints are garbage. That kind of thing. Obviously, that's noise. That's an insult with no breakdown of what are you talking about, the Saints? You see what I'm saying? When you have a thorough breakdown on why you feel the Saints are not going to be that good, that's more respected than saying, oh, the Saints suck. They're going to be the worst team in the league. Oh, okay. Well, that's what you think, buddy. That's your goddamn word on it. But in the end, all I'm saying is that for the Saints to have, for us to have that type of success, Spencer Rattler know he more underdog than he is anything. He been an underdog when he left from Oklahoma and lost that job to Caleb Williams. He been an underdog with the South Carolina. He got drafted in the 5th round. He thought he was a higher pick. He been an underdog ever since. When they fired Clint Kubiak and Dennis Allen and Kellen Moore came in here and took Tyler Shuck in the 2nd round, he knew he was a underdog. He knew he was an underdog because the plan is, because if you remember the tweet that Tyler Shuck's manager, his agent put out, he's like, I'm happy with the plan. What plan are you talking about? The plan that they usually do, which is put the more experienced quarterback in there. And if he struggles, they're going to give him a short leash. Down the line, he'll play 4 or 5 games. If he struggled, then they're going to put Tyler Shuck in there. That plays better than starting the season with Shuck, and Shuck struggles, then they go to Spencer and pivot. The optics is different, right? You're going to let Tyler sit there and hold the clipboard and do the practice stuff and all that and pick up game and buy him time while Spencer is in there running around handling the business. But Spencer said, I know the game plan. Let me see if I can upset the apple cart. Now, I respect Tyler Shuck, but I'm going to respectfully keep your ass on this bench. See, that's when all of the pleasant platitudes disappear when competition. Because Tyler said, I thought I'd done enough to win the job. You can see in his face, he was a little, he was dialing it back, but he was a little upset by the decision, right? Because he felt that he should have been the guy. He said that in the interview. But Spencer Rattler said, I got the job, I got the call, it's all on me. So he gonna have to step up. This is what he been working for. Let's see what he can do. But I personally think that the Saints are better than 5 wins. I really do think that. What's up, Beverly? Shout out to Beverly, JT. What's up, Desi, baby? What's up? Shout out to you as well. Backdoor Joe, shout out to you, brother. Good to see you in the chat as well. All right. Yeah, Sean says, I like more moves and more. However, I just hope the fan base has to be. Yeah, and listen, bro, I think they are. You saying some good stuff, Sean. I don't want you to think like I'm getting on you about that. What's up, K-Man? What's up? What's going on, Chantel, baby? Backwoods, Christy. How you doing, baby? But this is the thing. I don't want to seem like I'm getting on you about that, brother, because I'm not. But what I'm saying is, the family base, we got to understand. We done been, Lord help us. You got to bow your head sometimes, just like, say a prayer for the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. You really do sometimes, man. Because when I started thinking the 4 years, you condensed 4 years of all of the nonsense the mighty Who Dat Nation was dealing with into one moment, and I just felt all of it. And I was like, I had to do this, baby. I had to go like this. Had to break it down, baby. Had to go, oh my God, come on. Lord help us out here. Mighty Who Dat Nation, great Saint Think Tank. I had to break it down right quick. Y'all seen that? I had to put them together, baby, and be like, bam, let's go here. Because the reality is, man, the Who Dat, and understand this, fam. The Who Dat Nation has been through the ringer. The last 4 years, we've been lied to by this team. Mickey Loomis insulted us and our intelligence. Dennis Allen was non-apologetic to us, even though he apologized to the Falcons. He backstabbed his players. They lied to us about being fractures in the locker room when we knew they were. Fixing it. They tried to trade players that was upset about losing as opposed to go to them and find out what we need to do it better. All of that. It was just insulting. And then it ended roughly, and it wasn't done by Mickey Loomis. It was done by the Who Dat Nation, where we so not all of us, but a great number of us stopped supporting the Saints financially, which caused a big impact on Gail Benson when she seen the people after that 7-game slide. Mickey Loomis sitting up here hiding, didn't want to talk about it. Are you gonna make this type of stuff? No, we're gonna idiot, didn't know, just a moron. 7 games, still trying to keep the guy. The guy's a loser. He doesn't know what he's doing. It took Gail commanding him to fire that guy because of you, because you stopped supporting the team. That's what the hell happened. That's how it ended, and the change began because of what you did, not because of what they did. You forced them to change. If it wasn't for you pivoting and standing 10 toes down, they would have kept that guy in here. You have Dennis Allen this year. So that's the first thing. And after going through those 4 years of all that foolishness, there is some, what people call it, residue. There's some residue remaining, a lot of residue. You got trash bags and you got all kind of stuff going wrong of what happened the last 4 years that the Who Dat Nation is feeling today, right? So even that there's a sense of motivation and happiness that some of these people are gone, the Allens and the Cars, that they're gone, and that you have more of a competent guy in Kellen Moore here, who the media likes, who's intelligent, you see he's innovative, young coach coming over from Philly with a championship ring as an OC, gives us some positive energy. But there is still a sense of the family members being impatient because of the lies that was told by the Saints. They did this to themselves. So whatever the Who Dat Nation gives to the New Orleans Saints, that's what they deserve. You got to remember, you can't tell people to be patient, even though I tell the family members, yo, hey, listen, we got to be patient and give these guys an opportunity to develop. That's kind of commonsensical, right? To be patient with people, because, you can't judge them based upon the sins of the past, so to speak. Like Kellen Moore is not responsible for what that idiot Dennis Allen did, and he has to then reverse some of the things that moron did. He has to fix some of the things that he was too stupid to fix, that kind of thing. We know that that's not the case, but we're also intelligent enough to know your time starts now, and that you will be allotted a period of time to do positive work. But I think too, the Saints family members, the great Saint Think Tank, the Mighty Who Dat Nation, wants to see good football. They want to see people execute, right? They want to see, you can make mistakes, but go out there and give it your all. Execute, do, you know what I'm saying? That type of football. And if you lose, people can live with that because they see that you're trying. You're really trying to do some positive stuff, and you just didn't have it, or you just this, that, and the third. People will respect that. But going out there and dropping the ball, fumbling, blowing your blocks, missing tackles, dropping interceptions, not going into the red zone, dropping passes, dropping touchdown passes, dropping third down balls, missing, all this kind of stuff will not be tolerated. It will not be tolerated kindly. There is a honeymoon period for Kellen Moore, but it's not as grand as you would like to think because of the 4 years of what happened. That's not fair, but it's simply what it is. People have waited for 4 years to win, and the Saints fuddled, stuttled, and bumbled around all that time, and people won't see some good action. That's what I'm saying, my brother. Thank you. All right. So look, fam, y'all got questions, throw them in there. What's up, Reginald? All right. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing, my brother? Appreciate you. Pammy. What's up, Pammy, baby? Elites in the building. Marvin Mack. Youngblood says, Q, you hit the nail on the head. The only reason national media is hating on the Saints strictly because of the QB situation. It's very simple. They're looking, and that's how ridiculously I ain't gonna say vain, but how ridiculously non-thorough they are. They just why the Saints gonna win? Well, simply because it's the QB situation. They have the word. I watched some idiot from PFF, not Fliori. That's another idiot, not Sims. It's some other guy they have on there. I don't even think the guy can catch a pass. I don't even think the guy played football of any sort. He looked like he might have been a politician. He kind of, got some weird vibes. But at the end of the day, I heard this dude say something about the Saints. You got the worst QB situation in the league. Well, what are you talking about? What's worse with Tyler Shuck? He was such and such. He don't look like a franchise quarterback. I'm like, man, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? You don't know who these men is until you put them out there and see what they. All I know is Spencer Rattler got heart. He can make every throw. He's inexperienced and young. Well, he got 7 years. 7 games. Six games he started. He played 7 games. He came in. Oh, that should have been a win that game. He came in after Jake Hayner stunk. But he played in all these. He got some games, some stuff he can build on. And the guy's serious about his craft. So is Tyler Shuck. I wasn't a Spencer Rattler guy or a Tyler Shuck guy. I thought they should have went different way. But Spencer Rattler earned my respect. Tyler Shuck earned my respect. They earned my respect because the men about the business of being thorough. They're not happy with incompletions and bad throws and interceptions. They're not happy about that. It upsets them, and they got a will to want to get better. And I respect players who understand that if they make mistakes, they got to fix it. They're accountable to themselves. They're accountable to the team. I like that, and I respect that. So you can't sit there and say because Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck aren't Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes or any of these other characters, CJ or Jaden or whatever or Hurts. Those guys had to develop too. They wasn't always there. They always forget that shit. They always forget that Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen when he first started. He was doing all kind of stuff. Same with Hurts. Same with all of these guys when they step in the league. They had a learning curve to do, and them guys always forget that. They sit up there comparing them guys to these other guys who've been in the league for 5-6 years in the same system or whatever, learning and progressing. That's not a fair comparison. You don't know what the Saints could do. You don't know what they can be, what these guys can be until you see them out there. So that's these stupid takes, man, that I don't respect. Swagged out. What's up, bro? Backwoods. Shout out to you, man. I'm gonna come back to y'all, man. Let me get into some of this stuff, man, as well. And y'all hit the like button for your boy, man. We talking Saints, baby. We talking Saints in the afternoon, baby. Even though it's afternoon, baby. We talking Saints. All right, inside, here it is, 23. This is the 50-man roster position breakdown. Shout out to Matt Paris from NOLA.com. This is what they were saying. And, of course, this is the quarterback. And we know what the team looks like now in terms of the players that have been added. And then I've been looking at it saying to myself, how many wins is this team going to get? That's what I'm looking at, right? I'm trying to figure that part out. And I'm saying these Saints are better to me than the 5 wins we got last year with that possum. Dennis, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. I gotta get stuck. I be getting all rallied up, baby. I gotta calm down. The possum is gone. He out of here. He's been captured. All right. Anyway, quarterback Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shuck, Jake Hayner in the street on the practice squad. Big surprise. The Hayner thing, I didn't think. But see, that's the thing that I really like about this rendition of the Saints. I really thought at first, fam, that the Saints was going to keep Spencer Rattler. I mean, not Spencer, Jake Hayner. They were going to keep Isaiah Foskey and DeMarco Jackson because that's what they always do. But this rendition under Kellen Moore was different. Kellen said guys that can't help got to go. And he put all three of those guys in the street. And that's to be respected. I was like, okay, that's different. I respect that. I was wrong. Because I was like, man, 4 years, they're going to keep them dudes. But they put them in the street because the man about winning. He about winning. He ain't status quo, fam. That's what I'm trying to let y'all know. That's what I'm saying to myself here. But anyway, let's get back into it, man. I respect the hell out of that, man. I'm good. It's good to be wrong on that. Hayner release was a headliner at least until Moore announced Spencer Rattler as week 1 starter. But will the Saints add a third quarterback in the coming days? Falcons cut Easton Stick, who was a please no, not Easton Stick, a quarterback who played under Moore when they were with the Los Angeles Chargers in 2023. Perhaps that's a name to watch. At first, I was thinking when that happened, I was like, man, we'll see what's going on with that. But this is an attempt right here to kind of maximize, the depth chart. Keeping 2 quarterbacks is a very bold move because you got the starter and the guy that gets hurt, right? And I'm pretty sure the Saints have on the team a guy, whoever it was, that might play college quarterback, a high school quarterback. I'm going to have to look that up, because, of course, you got the third emergency quarterback type of thing that got going on. But anyway, it's a smart move by the Saints because they needed that slot somewhere else, right? So as we move into it, the running backs, they kept 4. Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Devin Neal, Velus Jones Jr. was the last man in. Now, Velus Jones Jr. has to be the surprise Saint making the team of this entire offseason, right, fam? He has to be. Who's your surprise guy? Now, I know they got Chris Rump, Rajon Wright. Rajon Wright was a small surprise because I thought Rico Payton was the guy. The Giants seen it. That's why the Giants kept Rico Payton. But to me, what I was thinking, man, I was like, hold on here. Rico Payton, but that was a small surprise. But the big one was Velus. When Velus first stepped into training camp with the Saints, he was way buried on the depth chart. And people wasn't thinking about Velus Jones. Even when they talk about the running backs, Velus was nowhere mentioned. But Velus made the team because he can run. He can be running back, wide receiver, kick returner. The guy was awesome. And with that, he was able to beat out more experienced running backs like Clyde and Cam, who was already in the street. So Jones was the last man in. Special team versatility might have been a deciding factor. Wide receiver turned running back made it over Clyde, Cam, and undrafted Marcus Yarns. The Saints 6 wide receivers. Now, of course, Cedric Wilson Jr. is not on the active roster. Cedric is on the practice squad. Cedric Wilson Jr. he was waived, and both him and Jack Star. Well, let me get through it, and I'm gonna let you know. Y'all, if you didn't know, wide receivers Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Devon Valley, who they traded for, Brandon Cooks, Mason Tipton, and Cedric Wilson. Now, of course, the Saints they released Cedric Wilson Jr., then signed him to the practice squad because they picked up a wide receiver in the claim side of things, which is, let me kind of pivot into that, to the transaction report. What the Saints reported by Mickey Loomis said that the team was awarded wide receiver Trey Palmer off of waivers from the Bucs, and Xavier Truss the tackle off a waiver from Sean Payton. We keep getting stuff from over there by Payton. So Trey Palmer, 6 feet, 192, guy is very talented. Trey played. We know about Trey because Trey played for my Tigers. Go Tigers, baby. Anytime you can get Tigers on the team, we all right. Brother Divine Gacho, Trey Palmer, we got him. We got him. All right, 6'1", 190, 6th-round pick for the Bucs. 2 seasons, he appeared in 32 games, had 11 starts, 51 catches, almost 600 yards, 11-yard catch average, 4 touchdowns. He also rushed the ball a couple of times. He also returned punts as well. So Trey Palmer has special team application, right? With LSU. And listen, he does it all. He does it all. Got really good speed, all this kind of stuff. Can catch, can run good routes. Saints got a really good, solid reserve wide receiver with Trey Palmer. Let's just keep it a buck. So adding him there. Is he better than Dante Pettis? I would say yes, Trey Palmer is more developed and better than Pettis. So you have an experienced speedster who can help you in the room. You can do these different things. So the Saints track team thing continues to hold true. Then they get Xavier Truss, big offensive tackle, and I mean large. The brother's 6'7". Boy, wait, I don't know what's going on with that hair, but you got a lot of stuff going on up top, bro. But 6'7", 320 pounds. It's a big guy. Signed Denver as a rookie free agent. He was following the 2025 draft with the University of Georgia. We know the Georgia Bulldogs got some really good guys that they put out there. The guy played all the positions except for the center position. They got a nice breakdown here that they did. In 6 seasons with the Bulldogs, he played in 67 games and had 42 starts, and he played across the line. Played left tackle once, left guard 18 times, right guard once, right tackle 22 times. So you can see left guard and right tackle, he had his most experience and played in 58 consecutive games in his final 3 seasons. So you can see he's also a member. He was the 14 starts on the 2022 national championship team. So he was there, a college football champion. You also have a couple of awards attributed to him. So it's a big guy with some skill from the University of Georgia the Saints add to their depth chart. So this is one of the better backups the Saints are added. They say, okay, you want better backups? Here your ass go. All right, so let's go back to the depth chart so we know that we have that. So Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Devon Valley, Brandon Cooks, Mason Tipton. And for the longest, they kept 6 wide receivers. That's a surprise. Never known that to be the case. 6 wide receivers is a lot of wide receivers. That's probably why Jake Hayner's number got slashed. It's definitely on the wide receivers. I don't think anybody thought the Saints would keep 6 wideouts. That's the bottom line. I didn't think that would be the case either. I thought that slot might go to the offensive line where we always seem to have trouble on. Offensive line, Kelvin Banks, Trevor Penny, McCoy, Cesar Talley, Dylan Redunce, Akeem Richards, Luke Fartner, Torrey Sally Simpkins. Saints traded for Richards, a move made out of necessity. The Saints were decimated. They needed a swing tackle. Saints placed tackles Barry Wesley, Landon Young on the IR, waiving Josiah Raheem and Jonathan Mendoza. And Richards, who's a 2023 fifth-round pick, he had an interview, you guys probably seen it, played 177 snaps at the left tackle position for the Cowboys last year. So the Saints have a blindside tackle. And I would consider him better than the rest of these other guys. So we'll see how it all bowls. Let's go tight end-wise. Juwan Johnson, Jake Stahl-Matavo. Trayton Welch release came as a minor surprise. Seemed to opt out. Matavo down the stretch of training camp, but it makes sense the Saints wanted to keep the 7th-round rookie over someone who would likely land on the practice squad. Taysom Hill and Foster missed at least 4 games after being placed on the PUP list. Now, we've talked about this. Well, I did make mention of the fact that I believe that that Matavo would make the team because he's a 6'8", 260-pound tight end. The Saints don't really have – you got Taysom on 1 year, Foster on 1 year. You need to have a developmental tight end. They made a good move by getting a big red zone weapon in Matavo and keeping him on the practice squad. But Jake Stahl, like we talked about, was released to the practice squad as well. So the Saints got to do something at that tight end position. The edge rusher, Chase, Curl, Cam, and Chris Rump. Chris Rump balled out and showed some stuff. He made the team. Fadil Diggs, it was close, but Fadil ends up on the practice squad. So that's still. So like I said, Isaiah Foskey gets put in the street. What's interesting is all of the Saints guys, except for Fadil Diggs, all of them on the team. All the Saints draft picks from this year made the team, right? All of them. All of this except for Fadil Diggs, which was a 7-round selection. So this draft here could be a draft, fam. Because what was it, 9 players? The Saints had 9 players. They drafted 9 picks. They drafted all of the players. They didn't trade anything. And all of the picks, all of the players, I think except for Fadil Diggs, are on the current roster. That speaks boldly. We'll see what that means going forward, but that's not bad at all. So the defensive interior, Bercy, Gacho, Shepard, Vernon Brockton, Jonathan Bullard, and Christian Boyd. We know Christian Boyd dealing with a few things. On the interior, Bullard made it over. Jonah Williams, whom the Saints kept on the practice squad. The linebackers are Fob DeMario, Pete Werner, Danny Stutzman, Jalen Ford, and Isaiah Stallbird. I agree with all of these. Nephi Sewell played really well, but it was a toss-up between him and Stallbird. The Saints made the right calls. Jalen Ford's going to be a beast. If we have issues and injuries with DeMario Davis or Pete Werner, Danny Stutzman is a solid linebacker the Saints drafted out of Oklahoma, and Jalen Ford is a solid player that developed really well from Texas last year. So they have these two guys that's going to be awesome, and Isaiah Stallbird is special on special teams. So the Saints linebackers I love them linebackers, man. The linebackers are going to be good. And like I said, Nephi was a tough cut. Cornerbacks, Kool-Aid, Alante, Isaac, Quincy, Ugo, and Rajon Wright. Like I said, we knew that was going to be the order. The problem was what's popping with the Rico Payton. I thought Rico Payton just edged out Rajon Wright. But in the end, they got right. They thought Payton would go to the waiver, and he did not. The Giants claimed Rico Payton off the waiver wire. He's not a Giant. And DeMarco Jackson is a Bear. He going up there with Dennis Allen. The safeties, Justin Reed, Blackman, Jordan Howden, Jonas Sanker, and JT Gray, no surprise. And then the specialists, Blake Grupe, Zach Wood, Kai Kroger. Okay, Kai Kroger, we know early on, he beat out James Burnup. I like Burnup, but Kai Kroger came in there late and was punting his ass off. Was punting it further, more accurately, and he impressed the team. So we got a new punter to go along with Blake, who was a special team phenom. If there was a thing as a preseason MVP, preseason training camp MVP, that should go to Blake Grupe. And like one thing we could talk about with Blake Grupe that, we give Dennis Allen a lot of work, but you got to give Dennis Allen respect for that one thing he left you with after tearing up everything and screwing up. The one positive thing that he left you was Blake Grupe. That was Dennis Allen. So you got to give his smelly ass that. All right. So anyway, man, let's keep it moving and grooving. We talked about that as well. Let's hit this practice squad up, man, and talk about this and make it official on the practice squad thing. In fact, the Saints did add it. This is our practice squad here. Who's on it? The Saints have signed 15 players to the practice squad. Let's go into it and break it down. Right, let's talk about it. Kevin Austin Jr., fam, ended up on the practice squad, and that's fitting because he does need practice. He needs some practice. So we're going to – I like Kevin Austin Jr., so I think it's a solid move to do that, man, to be quite honest with you, to put him on the practice squad because you can come back to Kevin Austin Jr. during the season if you need him. Dallas Beanham, good young cornerback and develop on the practice squad. Like him, he needs time. Terrell Burgess, fam, listen. Terrell Burgess he had a pretty good camp. A lot of people don't talk about Terrell Burgess, fifth-year safety out of Utah. The man had a solid camp. And if it wasn't for a deep safety room, Terrell Burgess probably would have made the team. Like how he played, he ended up on the practice squad. I think that's a positive for the Saints. Elliot Davison is also there, the other safety they had. Hunter Deckers ends up on the practice squad. We know that was going to happen. Fadil Diggs balled out in camp. He was just a victim of the numbers crunch at the position. He should have made the team. But that's a shout out to the Saints drafting this year with Kellen Moore's set up 9 players and 1 didn't make the team from the draft class. That's amazing. Fadil Diggs. Jake Hayner. Saints have 2 quarterbacks on the practice squad. Jake Hayner's on the practice squad because he need practice. Easton Kilty, the big offensive lineman, did not separate himself. Jaden Price played well, had some return application. He was okay. Saints put him on the practice squad. Nephi is also there. Charlie Smith was also just awesome, but he wasn't special like Blake Grupe was. He missed a lot of kicks. Blake did not. I think Blake missed like 1 kick on a rainy day. Blake Grupe was the preseason MVP, if there was such a thing. Jake Stahl, who's the big tight end, the veteran tight end, the best blocker the Saints have, he ended up on the practice squad. Trayton Welch, we thought that would make the team, was making good catches. He ended up on the practice squad as well. Big Jonah Williams is also on the practice squad, and Cedric Wilson Jr. is on that practice squad. So the Saints have a lot of really good, solid players that's currently on that practice squad that I think would that can help the Saints if injuries start hitting the team, right? That we can kind of look at that thing and be like, okay, we can peel for it and go there. And because some of these players, fam, if you look at, because I know people look at the practice squad and say, okay, Q, it's just a practice. But if y'all remember, and I was asking this question, I'm like, y'all remember how the Philadelphia Eagles, how the Eagles used the practice squad? Like the Philadelphia Eagles will use the practice squad as what it is an extension of the active roster, the 53-man roster. Like they were, if they had guys on that team, they would grab those guys and slide them into the slots. They did it really well. And then also, if they felt like they needed help, like when they were having all those issues at the defensive tackle position, injuries and all that, they went out and signed guys off the street and brought them in. But they signed veterans who could help right away. They didn't play around with a guy from Canada who don't have no NFL experience, who's never going to see the field. A lot of the guys the Saints have on his practice squads are guys that can actually come in and help if need be. You see what I'm saying? That's a difference in thinking. Like Kevin Austin Jr., played some minutes, a lot of games last year for the Saints. And, when healthy, could be counted on if we having issues at the wide receiver position. If we having issues on the defensive line, the defensive end position, we could bring Fadil Diggs in. Terrell Burgess, Dallas Beanham is also a young, really good cornerback that can help. And, there. The tight end Stahl and Trayton Welch could help right away. Jonah Williams is another defensive player. You could have problems. Cedric Wilson, even though I don't think he should be on the team, but he's still in a spot where he needs to be on the practice squad, need practice. But Cedric Wilson can also come in and help block if you need him to, something like that. But you got guys on his team that can come in and help. And I think that's the part. That's the important part. Not just getting some guy, like you remember from years past, Saints go get some guy from Canada or some guy that don't have no experience. And I often joke about it on the show, like the guy don't even have a profile picture. When the Saints bring the guy in, or they make an article on their website about the Saints sign such and such, they have a generic picture of the Saints helmet. You know what? I'm so petty. I might do that shit. I might go on and see. I don't want to do that, but y'all know. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They'll sign some goddamn guy here. You don't know who the guy is. Saints sign, Yargo Martinez. And then it's you go there and read the article, and they got no picture of him. It's a picture of a helmet sitting on the field. It's a picture of a helmet sitting on the bench. It's a oh man, I'm trying to find a picture. Y'all know I'm trying to find one, man. I'm gonna try to find one, man. I gotta go back. I gotta find them. I'm gonna find one. My first thing, this ain't good. This ain't gonna be good. They got some goddamn guy they signed up here. He got a picture. It's a picture of Saints helmets lined up on the field with the sun behind it. I was like, Or it's a picture of the Saints symbol on the goal line, the goal line cushion. It'd be some generic shit. I'm like, where the picture of the guy at? He ain't got no picture. It'd be a damn guy. It'd be a picture. It'd be the most beautiful Saint art you could possibly imagine if you're a Who Dat Nation member. Got a picture of a helmet on the field. A picture of a row of helmets sitting on the bench. Like the reporter, the cameraman, the photographer, he just bored. He just got a helmet. He go sit it all kind. It's a picture of a helmet sitting on the cooler. It's a picture of the helmet sitting in the stands. It's a picture of the helmet hanging off the gate. You know. Oh, like, you got this ain't good. This ain't good. This guy never gonna see the field. All right, let me cut it out, man. Let me cut it out. All right, so anyway, man, that's what we looking at, man, for the team right now, man. But it's interesting, man, to say the least, man, because uh oh man, it's just going to be an interesting season for the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. I'm just looking forward just for some football to see if the Saints, and I really think that's what it comes down to. Like, we have to be able to put in that work, man, and find out exactly where this team. Like, I like a lot of these moves. I really do. I like a lot of these moves. The Saints are buying into a lot of the young personnel, but this is still an experienced team. What Kamara and Olavi, like the very mere fact that these guys are here, that there's all of our good players are healthy. Did anybody take that in consideration? Like, the Saints' health is good right now, right? We got our players are healthy. Elvin's good. Kendra's good. Devin Neal is back. He's good. Chris Olavi's healthy. Rashid's good. Because Chris and Rashid had issues last year. They're good. Jawan's good. He had a little growing thing, but it looked like he's good. Now, Penning dealing with a turf toe, we know that's something. But overall, health-wise, the Saints had a lot of backups that were hurt, and they replenished the backups via trade, waiver wire, whatever they had to do. But the defense is relatively healthy, right? We know Alante had a little something going on, but he'll be good to go week one. Christian Boyd, we'll see where he is, but he's not really starting one of our key backups, but the Saints are deep there. So Pete Werner, he's healthy. DeMario's good. Cam's good. So the overall health of the Saints going into week one is a major positive. It's a major positive, man. So that is also something to kind of look at and to be happy about, man, going forward. So, yeah, we got some interesting stuff going here with the team, fam. This is the unofficial depth chart right here. But it's showing you, man, very interesting. 2 quarterback look. Saints loaded up with 6 wide receivers. That's wonderful. 4 running backs, 6 wideouts. The offensive line is where it is. You can see the backups here, right there. Wonderful. We got speed for days. Chris Olavi's fast. Rashid Shaheed, the fastest Saint on the team, right? We know Trey Palmer can run. Mason Tipton got a high 40 time. Devon Belly's a 4.47 in the 40 at the combine. They got a track team there. So we know they're going to want to get after anyone. We know AK-41 can move and shake. Kendra's powerful. Devin Neal got some shake to him. Velas is also very fast. Saints got a very good, fast track team going on. The defense, I don't have no doubts. The 34 defense that we seen the Saints participate, they made a really good shift during the preseason. We'll be interested to see how they gel and merge more. Remember, Divine Gacho was a guy with not a lot of fanfare. The Saints traded a 7-round pick to get that man to start this 34 defense. That was one of the biggest things that they did to get him to solidify the interior of that 3-4 look. For them to do it. Brian Bresee is ready to take it to the next level. Cam in his final season, they got good backups in Jonathan Bullitt, Vernon Brockton. Those guys that play Carl and Chase Young shift to linebacker. They look good all through preseason and training camp. We found out who's going to back up DeMario, who's the heir apparent to DeMario Davis's position. It's Danny Stutzman. So we found out that Jalen Ford is also a good insurance policy for Pete Werner if he gets hurt. Chris Rumph is there as well, who's going to be good. We love that. Isaiah Stallberg, good on special teams. The Saints secondary, Kool-Aid, Alante, Isaac. I still like Quincy Riley. Quincy Riley going to make his presence felt later on in the year. Love the fact the Saints added Justin Reed. Tyrann Mathieu retired. They followed up quickly and got Julian Blackman. And all Blackman did since he got here is make plays, interceptions, and all this kind of stuff. And then if he had a kind of a murky injury history, the Saints had Jonas Sanker to back him up, right? Ugo Amadi, those guys. So the secondary looking good. Our special teams with Blake Grupe, Kai Kroger are looking to be much improved. Blake Grupe is going to be one of the top young kickers, in the NFL. Kai Kroger punting his ass off. So the return game, Velas Jones Jr., Trey Palmer, guys like that could be involved in helping move that thing, keep it good. So it's looking very interesting on home front for the black and gold, man, to say the least. And it's very interesting. All right, anyway, man. Shout out to you guys. Y'all hit the like button for me as we moving this thing along. Shout out to all the mighty Who Dats. Let me see if I can get um, some of your comments in there. Big ups to you. KT, shout out to you, bro. Says, he says, the goal is to be a, okay. What are we talking about? What's going on, KT? KT, what are you talking about? What the hell is that, KT? All right, what's up? What's up, Red T? Shout out to you, fam. That's why I say, fam, I'll be reading them shits before I put them up there. I need to start reading them, right? All right. All right. All right. DeWine says, Rattler never had a starting offense. This is true, bro. He dealt with a lot of injuries going into it. And last year he had to run for his life. He was behind that makeshift offensive line. I don't think we've seen a good representation of what Spencer Rattler can be based on what we seen last year with that makeshift offensive line. Them guys could not block. They couldn't run block. The man had to make his he is fam, it's incredibly even though these guys are in great shape, it's incredibly tiring for your offense at that point was like rollouts. The line was so bad that they had to run the offense like him rolling out to throw the ball, and he was rolling out and running and throwing. That is extremely tiring. Like for you to roll out nearly every other rep just because the line can't protect you. So I don't think we got a good look at him like we wanted to. Like Spencer, like the first week, we'll actually get a solid look at what Spencer. Because think about that, fam. People like, yeah, Q. He played in 7 games, started 6 of them, didn't get a win. That offensive line was horrible. The play calling was stupid and garbage. The wide receivers were hurt. He was like, had back, working with Kevin Austin Jr., Dante. I mean, the Saints were down to their 5th and 6th wideouts, So a lot of that wasn't done with our top talent. So how does Spencer Rattler look with access to Elvin, to Chris, to Rashid, to Jawan, and a starting line? How does he look then? You got to say he looks a lot better than what we seen last year. That's the thing that you kind of think about, going into the season. You're like, oh, it's hard to make the comparison on what he did last year with them spunky backups versus him being in front of with the starters this year. Gonna be interesting. KT says, I'm just glad that Jake and Cedric Wilson Jr. are on the practice side. Indeed, I agree with you, bro. Brother Dot says most wins 9, at least 6. All right, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. 9 wins is a positive, bro. That's a positive. I mean, you're heading in the right direction. Red T says Cardinals, Giants, Jets, Giants, Patriots, Panthers, Dolphins, Titans are beatable. Bears, Falcons are toss-ups. Yeah, you make a good point, bro. It's not like the Bears. Caleb Williams is a very complicated quarterback. And I mean, his mood and all, they need to get that boy some vitamin. Which one of the vitamins help your mood? Isn't it vitamin D? Helps your mood. Pause. Or is it vitamin B? Let's just say B, because I don't like what that sounds. But the reality is, the man needs something to help settle his mood, man. He's too temperamental, man. He's too temperamental, man. He's too damn temperamental. All right, shout out to you, man. Sean says, do you think Shiloh gets another? Oh, absolutely. I think eventually he'll get another shot. I think Shiloh will get another shot, bro. I think he'll get a shot. Shiloh Sanders ain't Deion Sanders, but the kid can play. He can make tackles. He can do some positive stuff. He's just not Deion Sanders, right? And I think the focus is more on Shador than it is on Shiloh. But I think Shiloh would ultimately, he was undrafted, so I think he'll end up finding a place somewhere, someone to pick him up. Atlanta, somebody like that to give him an opportunity. All right, what's up, King Chosen One? Shout out to you, bro. Big ups to you. All right, yeah, you're right, DeWine. We might have the fastest up. We could, yeah, bro. That's a track team. Chris, Rashid, Cook, even Cooks can run. Devon Valley, like I said, 447, Trey Palmer, I know can run. Mason Tipton's a high 40 time. 2 Vellis can run. It's a track team offense. That's the whole point. It's like you can almost see what Kellen Moore doing. We talked about this early on. in the season, like, well, why is they doing this, that, and the third? I said, because the need for speed for the Saints offense was something that we needed to happen. Because if guys get hurt, you still don't lose the speed. Like, you have one or two guys, fam, that'll be known as your speedsters, right? That ain't the case here. The Saints kept 6 wide receivers and all of them could run. So if you lose a guy here or there, it won't stop the overall speed of your team. So whoever come to play against the Saints, you got to deal with the speed. That's the point. You got to deal with the speed. And you got to make sure if the Saints go out and have 4 or 5 wide receiver looks, because that you keeping 6 wide receivers, something tell me you're going to be using 4 or 5 wide receivers with Elvin Kamara back there. To help out in the red zone, you have Juwan 6'3", 6'4". You got Matavo 6'8", Veli 6'5". So you're gonna have you get to the red zone, you roll out your big work. And Matavo, a 6'8" tight end, who you got a red zone package for Matavo. He's your second tight end right now. We talked about, like, man, the Saints have a developmental tight end. Kellen Moore said, okay, I drafted UCLA. He's raw, but Matavo is a lot better. He's not a traditional. Fadil Diggs and Matavo, that's why I got to give the Saints love. Where my damn clap button at? I got to give the Saints all kind of love, man, for this draft class. Because, to be honest with you, I got to give them all kind of love, fam, because this draft class is off the chain. All of these guys, except for Fadil Diggs, made the roster. Matavo and Fadil Diggs are not 7th-round draft pick players, even though they were drafted. I'm talking about from a talent standpoint. Matavo was solid at UCLA. He can block. He's not as athletic as you like, but for a 6'8", 260-pound guy, he moves well. And obviously, Kellen Moore sees him as a red zone guy. Who could compete with a 6 foot? What cornerback or linebacker you have that if I'm Spencer Rattler and I got Matavo in the end zone and I'm throwing it to the corner, who gonna get up there and get that ball from him? And he good at catching them 50-50 balls. Who gonna go up there and get that ball from Veli? Who good at that too? So you can see to solve the red zone conundrum, they got these big guys that can make plays in the red zone that you're gonna see that red zone work when the time comes. So I can respect the speed of the Saints. And I think that's what a lot of people are not focusing on. Like, if you got it, and Spencer can throw it. Hell, Tyler can throw it. I think Tyler can throw it out better than Spencer. But in the end, I think Spencer has a more, but like I said, they kind of where they are, but they both can sling it. And if you talking about crowd, and that's what Shannon was saying. Shannon Sharp said, man, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just crowd up the line. And then what Ocho told him, I'm just going to throw it over your head. Olave, Rashid, Cooks, Palmer, Veli, Tempton, they can go and get it. Velis, they can go and get it. You throw that ball up there, you go ahead and do that then. Put them damn safeties up there on that line of scrimmage and watch me tear your head off. And then once you get them to back off, you got Elvin Kamara and Kendre Miller to work that line. So, I mean, in principle, you can see what happened, but you got to make sure the line is there. And how fast is this offense, right? How because we have not seen their offense yet. We just seen vanilla ice cream, right? We have not gotten into Neapolitan land, family. We're out there like Neapolitan ice cream. Put your hand up. I don't know, man. I'd be going to the store, man. I'd be looking at everything else, fam. I don't want no damn. Now, listen, Bluebell. I'm on that Bluebell vanilla, man. That homemade vanilla. I'm on that, brother. We good with that. That Neapolitan, man. I got Neapolitan in the refrigerator right now. Put your hands up. To my ice cream people out there. I got that Neapolitan in the refrigerator, in the freezer, baby. I got that Neapolitan. All right, but listen, that's what we supposed to see in week number 1. We didn't see their offense. So, like I said, man, when you look, it's a rule of thumb when we looking at preseason football, you got to remember It's not so much about the plays, it's about execution. You focus on the execution. How are they executing this stuff? That's what you focus on. That's why I've always kind of shared a rule of thumb, not so much on the type of plays, but more in the execution, because they're not running their real stuff. So how does Spencer Rattler look when they're running their stuff that's made for their personnel groups with him with the starters? You got to think that looks a lot different than what we've seen. So time will tell on that, man. It will definitely tell on that. All right. Anyway, let me run on down this stuff. Reginald says, I'm worried about the Saints O-line. Can they protect Rattler, open holes for running game? Looks like we need help. The Saints have done a number of things. Traded for Asim Richards, traded for Luke Fortner, claimed Xavier Truss off the line. That's 3 new offensive linemen the Saints have added over what? The last week? 10 days? Right. Matter of time. LOL. Yeah, it's a matter of time. That's all it ever is, right? But yeah, the Saints have gotten better backups. Didn't we? We kept saying that. Y'all need better backups. And Kellen Moore said, hey, man, we're going to get better backups. And you can't say that. All these other guys, I'm telling you, they're better than the backups we had. Xavier Truss is better than Landon Young. Luke Fortner is better than Will Clapp. It might not be by much, but it's still considered an upgrade in my book. Asim Richards, all that stuff he had is better than Barry Wesley. So you did get better backups. He did. He's like, hold on now. Y'all asked for it. Y'all got it. I gave you better backups. So it's only a matter of time. And so it goes to, I'm going to write a book called Matter of Time. That'll apply to every damn thing. All right. Yeah, Red T said Diggs deserves spot 2. Chris Rump got it. Chris Rump outplayed. If it wasn't for that, the Saints, all of the Saints draft picks would have made the right. Now, I don't know when the last time that happened. I don't know when the Saints took. I don't think the Saints ever took on 9 players or whatever, and then kept all of them. Hold on, I've never seen that happen. I never seen that happen, fam. Where the Saints took 9 players, and all of them. And the only reason why Fadil didn't make it because Chris Rump outplayed him and barely beat him out. But Fadil Diggs should have made it too. Kelvin Banks Jr. This is the Saints right here. This is the draft class. Kelvin Banks, get it on widescreen. Fam, listen, I don't know if y'all realize this or not, but this class here could be one of the top classes that in recent memory that we're gonna go down with. This was a beautiful draft class. I don't think we're putting a lot of love on this. Kelvin Banks is your starting left tackle. Tyler Shuck is the second quarterback and potential franchise QB. Vernon Brockton made the team and eventually is going to be a starter at the end position. Jonas Sanker, y'all know Jonas is the future of the safety position and would played hellified ball. Danny Stutzman, y'all already know. Quincy Riley, y'all already know. Devin Neal, you already know. And Matavo is the second string tight end, on the team right now behind Juwan Johnson. Only 2 tight ends, and Matavo's the number 2 guy. And Fadil Diggs just missed out because of Chris Rump. This class, I don't know if you realize it or not, but and they said, "What's cute? What's up with all this trading of the picks and all this kind of stuff?" The Saints are going to add to this class next year, and this is going to be phenomenal. This was a sensational draft class. All of these guys should have made the team. I mean, well, all of them did. Fadil just lost to Chris Rump. Barely. But if injuries hit, guaranteed Fadil Diggs is going to be on this team. This is how good the Saints draft class was. They did a wonderful job picking up these guys. They did a wonderful job doing that. Right? That's also, I don't know when there was ever a time the Saints had 9 draft picks and drafted all 9 people, and almost all of them made the team. So, and those guys are good. Kelvin Banks is a dog. Tyler Shuck has a lot of potential. Vernon Brockton is a dog, but he's raw. He's going to be all right. Jonas, y'all already see it. Danny Stutzman, y'all see it. Quincy Riley, y'all already see it. Devin Neal, y'all see it. Matavo is not, he's Fadil and Matavo's 7-round draft pick, but they're not 7-round picks, if you know what I mean. These guys were supposed to be higher. Matava was supposed to be listed. He's supposed to be like a 5th-round pick. They fell to 7. Saints had a wonderful draft. This Kellen Moore's first draft class was special. All of these damn guys almost on the team. Fadil just missed him. Fadil on the practice squad. I think that's phenomenal. Greg says, I really believe if Taysom Hill was healthy and ready, he would be QB1 for a few weeks. I don't think he'd be QB1, Greg, but I think he'd be in there playing his ass off, not at the QB position. Well, maybe at the RPO package, you probably could see him using that in some regard, because people ask Kellen Moore, about the Taysom thing, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But we won't see him until the Giants game. That's what I said before we even got the update. I said, man, people was asking me, Q, what's up with Taysom? When you think he'll be ready? I said he'll be more than likely. We'll see Taysom week 5 against the Giants, and that's exactly what it's probably going to end up being. A lot of people, which will be an improvement, because we thought a lot of people said in halfway portion of the season, a lot of people starting to feel his rehab's doing well, where we can probably see Taysom by the Giants game. We'll see. J-Rock said the biggest question marks for me as far as the position groups are the O-line and tight ends. Indeed. Yeah, the O-line is always something to talk about, the guard positions, I think in particular. Lloyd says Penning and Ruiz have consistently played with terrible technique, neither bending their knees while lacking power in the running game. Thank you, Lloyd. Appreciate that, bro. Very good comment right there, man. I agree. All right, KT. All right, KT at the gym. All right, I got all right, KT at the gym. All right, KT. All right, bro. I hit the wrong comment, brother. I hit the wrong comment. I was like, what y'all doing? What's going on up in here? What are y'all doing up in this chat here? Come on now. All right. Shout out to y'all. All right. Shout out to you, KT. I get you, brother. You're in there trying to get some work in. I got you, brother. All right. B Flat says the NFC South champs is here. That's right. B Flat. Talk about the Saints. I hope so, B Flat. All right. So anyway, J Rock says, Q, I'm a cookies and cream. Okay. All right. That we talking about. Yeah, I had some of that. We had some. I got all kind. Hey, I like them flavor ice creams, like the Reese's and stuff like that. Which was one I can't keep enough. My youngest son likes mint. He liked the chocolate mint ice cream. He loves that, man. I bought some for him. He wouldn't even give me none. I'm like, bro, how I buy you ice cream and then you don't let me have none, bro? You kind of stingy, bro. How that work? That's kind of stingy. But I be having, but I like the Reese's that, like, the different ones they be having there. The birthday, it's not the birthday cake, the wedding cake ice cream. They got some of the stuff they be rolling out. They'll roll it out at certain times of the year, and I be seeing it in there. They be having one left, and I'd be like, yeah, it is. Yeah, we love some ice cream over here. What's up, Tasha? All right, KT says, Q, we have 2 more spots open on the practice squad. Do we bring in another offense? Yeah, offensive lineman would help. I don't know about another receiver. It wouldn't be, or another old lineman would help. There's no doubt about that, bro. I wouldn't be upset about another lineman, or hell, I would probably say offense. I wouldn't be mad if they got 2 offensive linemen, on the practice squad. And 2 more offensive linemen, KT, Hammond says, Q, we building something. Yes, we are. That's what I'm saying. It's the thing is, it's not like people say rebuild. I say a remodel. It's not like a total tear down of the structure. Like we pulling the building down, we raising the building to the ground. We're not raising the building to the ground. We're actually just remodeling things, right? And like I was really good on that too, like the Dennis Allen thing and the Derek Carr thing. Those were big. Those are 2 of the worst decisions the Saints did that really just soured our hopes of doing anything positive. Those 2, oh my God, those 2 guys, man, they were just so bad together. They were so awful for us. It just made everything look worse than what it actually was. You got the wrong quarterback and the wrong coach, fam. That just makes it all looks worse than what it actually is. And that's what I'm saying. So if you're doing a little remodeling, you can, you know what I mean? You repainting the walls, you pulling out this old ass tub and putting the brand new setup. You're doing a bit of remodeling. You know, we're not that bad. We're like, we got termites and all this kind of stuff. We had a possum, you know, we got rid of. But at the end of the day, man, we just, you know, I don't think we're raising the building to the ground. We're just doing some remodeling. If we want to use, we're going to use some construction terminology, right? Yes, yeah, we were, Pammy, I promise you, baby, we're going to do at least 2 of them this year, and I will let y'all know. I promise you that. We're going to do some meet greets this year. I promise you that. I got some people I'm working with, and we're going to try it. We're going to get that done, at least 2 of them. Y'all be on the lookout. We're going to get that done. All right, Kevin says, I'm hooked on energy drinks. And that ain't good for your kidneys, Kevin. Yeah, brother, you got to watch that, my brother. That shit ain't good for your kidneys, bro. How old are you, bro? All right. Who That Fam says Valley and Palmer will be nice additions to the. Oh, yeah, indeed. Yeah, Valley, Trey Palmer's, bro, Trey Palmer is good, man. Not just saying that because he's an LSU guy, but y'all remember watching Trey Palmer play for the Buccaneers. He's fluid, he's fast, he runs good routes, and he's a blazer. You could throw that ball out there, he kick return, punt return. The dude is good. So it was a very smart sign. Now, Xavier Truss, I watched some stuff on Xavier Truss. He is versatile. He's not, you know, the ideal blind side guy. Well, the blind side guy is going to be Akeem Richards. Xavier Truss acts as the guy that backs up Tali Fuaga. And occasionally, if you need somebody for a guard, he can cover it. So you have 4 backup offensive linemen. Richards, who we got from the Cowboys, Torricelli Simpkins III, Luke Fortner, who's the center, and Xavier Truss. So we have Torricelli, who operates as guard and as the 3rd center. So Luke Fortner could play center and guard. Xavier Truss can play tackle and guard. And Richards is a tackle kind of guy. So they did get better backups, bro. So they are listening, man. You know? Thank you, Bronze. Shout out to Bronze for being for being a member of the platform. Shout out to you. All right, anyway, let's keep it moving, man. Any questions and comments, man? I'm going to keep it moving, keep on moving. What's up, Sonya? Shout out to my girl, Sonya, in the building. YO, big ups to brother YO in this thing. DGX, shout out to you, says, Q, I got a lot of Who Dats in St. Louis and turned them on to your show and like what they've seen. Thank you, DGX. Shout out to you, my brother, and thank you for joining becoming a Patreon member as well, brother. Thank you for that love, bro. And we thank you. Shout out to Who That's in St. Louis. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Much love, man. Keeps it real deal here, man, bro. Thank you. All right, Sports View 360. How you doing, brother? Shout out to you. J Rock said that's good. That Reese's ice cream is good. Yes, sir. Yes. Oh, yes. All right, KT says Q sounding like Reverend Saint. Hold on, baby. Baby, we got to have patience, baby. And see, and that's the thing, man. Reverend Saint hasn't really have addressed the faithful, but that's coming up soon. Tasha says, Q, leave that child. Leave that child ice cream. I asked the father, like, man, it's birthday stuff. You ain't gonna let me have no ice cream? And I bought it. How stingy is that? How that work? That's terrible. I hope I ain't like that. Like, I buy some ice cream and then I tell you, you go in there and no. No. Just a little, no. No, I don't do that. They eat up all my stuff. Sean, what's up, Sean? Says, Q, have you ever tried pistachio almond? I'm not sure, bro, but it sounds good. It sounds good. All right. Brother Derek said, hey, Q, they said Mickey Loomis overruled Jeff Ireland to select Isaiah Foskey. Ireland wanted Brian Branch. Oh, wow. But he wanted your cousin. He wanted to be able to draft your cousin. I got it, brother Derek. But but see, Mickey Loomis, man, Mickey Loomis need to stay up out of there, man. He need to stay up out of there and let Jeff Ireland handle his business, man. Bottom line, Mickey Loomis, of course, he can do all this flippant stuff and he can make all these mistakes because ain't nobody gonna chastise him for it. That what's that other guy? That Dennis Lauscher guy ain't gonna tell him nothing, and Gail Benson, she ain't gonna tell him nothing. So Loomis feels empowered, and all these stupid ass decisions that he makes, even though they don't work, he never gonna face accountability for it. That lets me know right now what kind of man you is. Even if you make a mistake, like when I say I don't think the Saints gonna get rid of Isaiah Foskey or DeMarco Jackson, and they got rid of DeMarco Jackson and Isaiah Foskey in the cuts. I say I was wrong. I'm happy they do. So how hard is it that to be accountable? Hey man, I was wrong, man. Hell, that was be accountable. But this dude sit up here and he had this foolishness, this delusion, and this idiocy every damn year about these picks and what he doing. And then makes an obvious bad hire in Dennis Allen. Doesn't say it wasn't a bad hire. Made a bad call on Derek Carr. Doesn't say it was bad. Just stubbornly, foolishly, and stupidly moving about. And that's why people don't have no respect for the guy. That stuff, that whole thing with Dennis Allen on a 7 or 8 game losing streak, I forgot what it was. Everybody and his mama know that man in his fourth year, third, whatever it was, fourth year here, and he on a 7 game losing streak. You got to fire that man. You sit up there trying to keep him. That's what I was saying, man. But that's not Loomis's fault. That's Gail's fault. Because you can't keep these guys forever. Everybody got a time when they got to go. I mean, seriously. KT says Q started the petition for the blackout game so we can try and drop off that airline. Well, I think they headed in the right direction, KT. I think so, bro. Yeah, kids always like that. Say Who Dat. Yeah, you got something like that? Who Dat Records? Shit, I bought the ice cream. I think I got a cookie cake or something. I was like, yeah, bro. I couldn't get nothing. Like, man, I was like, you wouldn't even like that ice cream if it wasn't for me. I was the one eating ice cream. You ate some of my ice cream. I'm gonna leave the ice cream thing. Leave that boy ice cream alone, Q. All right, okay, all right. I'm gonna leave it alone. Mr. O says, Q, how much gas in the tank you think Brandon Cooks has for us? I don't know, bro. He hadn't been Brandon Cooks hasn't really been a guy people have leaned on like his first several years in the league where he was that guy. He hadn't been that guy in a while. So I think how the Saints in turn are going to use him as a fourth wide receiver, potential third guy if one of the top guys get hurt, But I mean, if the Saints are keeping 6 wide receivers, I gotta think that there's a purpose for that, right? Because you have 4 or 5 guys, but there's a reason why you got 6. We know one of them going to be a kick return. Trey Palmer could kick return, but I could see 5 wide receiver looks from the Saints. Seriously, who going to be able to deal with those 5 wide receivers, all of them fast? That's a good 5. Rashid, Brandon, Chris, Devon Belly, Mason Tipton. I mean, that's a good 5 receivers. All of them can run. Who's going to keep up with that? You talking about spreading teams out to throw the ball. But I think the way they're going to use him, bro, Mr. O, I think we're going to be all right with Brandon Cooks. T-Roy says, what's up, Q? Do you think we met? He said, you think we met up well with the Cardinals? Do we measure? I think the Cardinals, like I said, a lot of these teams, bro, we're going to see. We're in a similar position to us last year, finishing last in the division. I know the Cardinals was like a last division team, the Giants, the Jets, the Patriots, the Titans. So we face a lot of guys that were not good last year, right? And I don't exclusively know why they weren't good, like where we were not good. I know our team wasn't good because we had the leadership. I don't know if their teams had problems with talent or whatever this other type of stuff or similar things. I'm going to have to do some more investigation. But looking at their roster, because I did look at the Arizona thing, we got a preview for Arizona coming up soon too, by the way. We'll have an insider there to come and talk about the Cardinals in week 1 breakdown. But I think we do mesh well with the Cardinals. in the dome. Having the Cardinals open up with the Saints in the Superdome I think that's a really good game. Overall, the schedule and all that. I know the first 4 games we got the Cardinals, we got the Sea Chickens, we got the the Cardinals, the Niners, the Seahawks, and I think the Bills. So the first month is going to be very interesting to see where the Saints are in the execution and the system philosophy. Also knowing that if we can establish an identity fast, or what kind of team this is, are we going to be a running team? How are we going to use our runners? This type of thing. It's going to be interesting. Abraham says, Saints going to be really good this year. Thank you, Abe. Thank you, T. Roy, for that as well. Sean says 7-game losing streak and Carr put the final nail in the DA's called. Yeah, he did that twice when he was around. I don't know why you keep bringing the guy around if the guy just get you fired. The guy just not not really smart, man. Keep bringing the guy around and the guy gets you fired every time you bring him around. You can't see the correlation. It's really crazy to me. All right, so let me see. Bishop says, shout out to Bishop. Y'all concerned about Olave Shea. Cooks one concussion away from being retired. Yeah, it's Saints got 6 of them, bro. 6 wide receivers, so they could have been having an issue. Chris Olave changed his helmet to the one that is the best helmet for concussions. I still said that he should have used the Guardian cap because they got one you can wear in the regular season that don't look like the practice one. You know what I'm saying? It's one that you can wear that have the that have the little puffy things. It's one that you can wrap around it. And I say he should wear that for the rest of his life playing football because you can't. That's with any wide receiver, though. I don't want just the concussion thing is people are hitting this man in his head, as opposed to anywhere else. I mean, he ain't getting hit in the chest and he falling. He got all these weird injuries and these ailments. They're hitting, and that's why I keep wanting people to get this thought that Chris Olave is getting hit in his head. You can't stop a son bitch from hitting you in your head, right? And that's how he's getting hurt. He's getting concussed because some bitches are hitting him in his head. So all he can do is get that helmet and put that Guardian cap on. That's what I keep telling him to kind of reduce that. He said he won't wear the Guardian, he'll wear the helmet. So he's trying a new helmet, and we'll see. He got 2 years remaining on his contract, so we'll see. Because he want that big money. They're estimating Chris Olave going to be making $19 million. If he balls out this year, stays healthy, Saints, he can have $19-20 million a year deal. Chris Olave can. He can get there. Shit, the final year of his year next year is over $15 million. So $19 million is pretty comfortable for Chris Olave, but also realize Rashid Shaheed has 1 year remaining on his contract this year, and Rashid's looking for a payday. So what does that look like? So we're going to see some stuff about the Saints wide receiver position this year with Chris Olave, but having Cooks as a veteran there, Divine Valley, we don't know exactly what's going on with that. Trey Palmer's a return guy, Mason Tipton. This is a very fast team, and it's going to be interesting to see how they go, just to be honest with you. Yeah, but that whole thing with Chris Olave and the concussion thing, man, it's just very strange. Like people thinking it's like what's happening to Nick Saldiveri. It's not the same. Nick Saldiveri can't stay healthy. He got all these weird ailments. He always hurt. He on IR right now. The guy can't stay healthy. That's not the same with Chris Olave. Chris Olave getting concussed. Guys are hitting him in his helmet. That ain't Nick Saldiveri. Nick Saldiveri got this going on, that going on. All this weird stuff. That man don't have that. But like I said, I if I was him, I already said it to him. Hey, man, you need to put this on. Whether he put it on or not, that's on him. Derek says 49ers wide receiver situation is banged up. I've seen it, bro. Yeah, they got some problems, man. That's why I said the first 4 games to open up the regular. Let me give the Saints schedule up here. Matter of fact, fam. The first 4 games of the regular season, man, it's going to be interesting, to be honest with you, fam. The first 4 games, as you can see it on screen, let me see if I can superimpose this for the fam. Make sure I get this a little. There you go. That looks a lot better, don't it? All right, so yeah, that's the first 4 games. It's the group of games for September. You see the Arizona home games for Arizona. up against Arizona and San Fran, Saints at home. These are winnable games, fam. The 49ers are banged up, and usually you can get wins out of some of these teams because their stuff ain't already all together. It's going to be interesting, man, to say the least, man. I just, to me personally, I see it differently. But the Arizona game, to me, is very winnable at home. The 49ers game is very winnable at home. The Seattle game, to me, has some difficulty because that'll be the Saints' first road test of the new year, and they're going up to the 12th man, right? To go play Seattle. This ain't the same Seattle team that we know. We know that Geno is with the Raiders now. They have some changing going on up there. Clint Kubiak's running that offense. They also, y'all know they cut MVS. MVS got cut. He didn't make the cut with Seattle. But they got a team, and I'm not confident at all in Clint Kubiak and his offensive coach, his offensive line coach, and his QB coach. Those guys, all of them, all up there with Seattle with Clint Kubiak. So I think we can take advantage of them. I just don't have. I done lost whatever respect I have for Clint Kubiak's offense because he's boring. He's bland. He's a guy that don't adapt well. And if you start forcing him to think about what he needs to do, he don't do it well. He don't do it well. He has not established to me that he is a guy that that can run an offense that can get you somewhere. He's just too non-adaptable. The guy don't even know he doesn't adapt, don't know how to use his personnel correctly. He didn't learn any of that down here. He's just one of these dudes that's just going to float throughout the league because of his name. So I don't have any faith in him with Seattle. But, the defense is looking all right. So we're going to see what happens up there. And then, of course, a big test is probably one of the toughest games that's going to be for the Saints this entire season. It's the Buffalo game where they have to travel to Buffalo. But the good news is that Buffalo game is being played in Buffalo, but it's early in the year. That's what I was saying about this whole schedule. This whole damn schedule is made to order for the Saints to have a good year. It really is. All they have to do, they don't have to blow out anybody, just play good football. They should be able to beat Arizona. They should have a close one, San Francisco, and beat the Niners. The Seattle's going to be a bit of a road test, the first road test. Buffalo's probably going to be a loss because Buffalo is a contending team right now. But it'll be a good thing for the Saints to match up against a team that's seen as an elite team in the NFL. Buffalo's seen as an elite team in the NFL. So it'll be a good early match to see where you are in terms of your development and rank against a very good team. I do think that will, however, be a loss. But the Saints could go there 3-0 based on certain things. But I don't want to get too far into it, because we'll visit this at another time. We shall see. All right. Abraham said we're going to the playoffs this year. All right. KT says Q, Ben and Jerry's strawberry cheesecake is good. So is black and cherry blueberry. Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah, he said seeing the splits on Olavi. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. You got one more year. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we're going to see, man, because Garrett got his money. His other guy got his money. And usually the guys won't get their bread too. So he's got 2 years to pick on him. Olavi got 1. Let's see what they do. We'll see, man. GM Kev says 49ers run heavy team. We have to shut the run down. Yeah, I know. That'll be the test. Do you feel like you got I don't have no problem with the defense. Let's get that straight. Whatever is happening with the Saints on that side of the ball, I think we good. I think Brandon Staley has did everything he was supposed to do. He brought in undrafted guys like Chris Rump, who made the team. Jonah Williams was playing good. The drafting of Danny Stutzman, Jonas Sinker, Quincy Riley, the undrafted guys they picked up. They even got a couple of veterans like Jonathan Bullitt from the Vikings. They threw him in the mix. Vernon Brockton, the draft pick. You see what I'm saying? They brought Isaac Yiddom, and Yiddom had a solid camp. They've signed back Ugo Amadi. The defense, to me, has been running it all preseason and training camp. The defense has consistently beat the Saints offense. The defense have looked good. Chase and Granderson have looked good in the change. Stutzman and Ford is looking good for the backups. The Saint Brian Bresee, when Brian Bresee looked like he ready, Brian Bresee is gonna be a force. So I don't have any issues with that defense. Like whatever I'm dealing with on that side of, it's pretty much we're talking about, the offense. Even the special teams look good. Kai Kroger, Blake Grupe look phenomenal. So our special teams look good in training camp preseason. The defense was consistently good. The offense is the point of contention. Running the football, implementing Kellen Moore's game plan and what he'll bring coming into the year. That's what we are with ours. I don't have no problems with that defense. I think the Saints defense get it done. Of course, we'll see. Those are some tests because Arizona got some good running back going on. San Francisco, they're going to try to get at you with McCaffrey if he's healthy. Seattle going to try to test you. Buffalo's going to try. So it's all fine. It's all fine. But I'm saying if it depends on the Saints' collective intelligence, being disciplined, and getting into the execution, developing the identity. The Saints did not have an identity for the last 4 years of what kind of team we were under Dennis Allen. That's a lack of accountability and leadership. When you come in the door, you're supposed to immediately establish through your philosophy and what you're trying to do, the identity of your football team, and play behind that identity the entire year. That is your key to success, because when you know yourself and you have an identity, you can beat those who do not have an identity, who do not know themselves. You can beat those people all the time. It's about being on code, having an identity, knowing who you are and what you're about, and living and executing through that. That's how you beat these other teams who don't have that. Some of these teams are not going to have established an identity of who they are. We have to do that if we have success. If we know who we are, we're going to win some games here. And that's up to Kellen Moore. He has to establish that within the mindset of the team. But from a defensive standpoint, the Saints look solid. From a special team standpoint, the Saints look solid. From an offensive standpoint, we still have some questions. But I do respect what Kellen Moore is doing insofar as adding all of these backup offensive linemen, claiming Trey Palmer to improve the wide receiver room, and immediately didn't stop with that, got Palmer and put Cedric Wilson on the practice squad, moving Matavo into the into the second string tight end position, getting him involved while Matavo's there, because they got a good look at Matavo toward the back end of the preseason. He's a big target. You got to get Matavo in there because he's huge. 6'8", 260 in the red zone. Just throw the ball up, So I can respect what they're doing. We just got to see if they can execute and complete it, All right. Desi said no Neapolitan, butter pecan. All right. I do like butter pecan too. I do like butter pecan. Right now, they got a lot of good ones. I done started a whole ice cream conversation out there, baby. Being greedy. Yeah. But see, you know what? All this ice cream talk was because of the fact that we hearing these terminologies about vanilla, the offense being vanilla. And so I said, okay, since we want to talk vanilla, we're going to talk some chocolate and some strawberry. We're going to talk about Neapolitan, baby. They got everything up in there. You can have all three at once, baby. Neapolitan. Then also we got into the Bluebell thing because I'm greedy and started talking about other stuff. Yeah, oh, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know what's really good, man? You get you some ice cream, you get you one of them, some waffle cones. Y'all like waffle cones? I like, who like waffle cones in here? You put you some of that in them waffle cones, baby, and go to work. Go to work, baby. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about ice cream now. All right, stop talking about ice cream. Kevin says, can the O-line hold up? Ruiz is a issue, Q. Indeed, he is a problem. I hope Kellen Moore sees Ruiz as an issue. And listen, we have somebody that if either one of these guys struggle, we can right now the best guard backup you have is Torricelli Simpkins III. So Torricelli is operating as a backup guard for Dylan Redunce as well if you need him to play Ruiz's slot. But I don't know if Ruiz is hurt or what's going on, but I know that his technique is bad. You know, it's just he's not a good guard. And and what's going on is that he's getting lost in the sauce, meaning people don't, now that we starting to talk about it, but I've been talking and telling y'all about Ruiz because he constantly flashes on tape. Like in the preseason game, he struggled against the second team. People are like, what is he doing struggling? He's supposed to be a first level guard. You're supposed to be struggling against backup players. What are you doing? Yeah, but Ruiz don't give up no sacks. Q, man, that's bullshit. Ruiz might not be giving up no sacks, but he sure opened the door for the pressure to come running there to flush the quarterback out to an incompletion. We don't need that. We need a guy that's going to get down and push and run. We got to run behind these guards. These guards are going to have to step up. They can't pity-pat with these defensive linemen. We got to get somewhere. So if the guards struggle, and that's a problem, because the Saints show didn't take no offensive linemen. That was something that's out of all of the draft picks this year. The Saints show didn't take no linemen in the draft. That was something that I thought they would take. The Saints didn't take any offensive linemen in this draft this year. But Torricelli Simpkins is good. Easton Kilty, a lot of people think Easton Kilty can also be good. He just need more time. Torricelli Simpkins is a natural. So we'll see. But yeah, it is definitely the case, bro. I'm not really confident in Cesar Ruiz. Dylan Redunce is a guy that played the guard position before. He's serviceable. But the kind of push we need, we're going to see, bro. We're going to see how it goes, man. The film don't lie. Hey, you talking now, Q. All right. Thank you, bro. All right. All right. Yeah, he looks like a guard. He looks like, yeah, he is. But the thing is, too, I didn't like how the Saints kind of try to cross-train him as opposed to let him be competition for Trevor Penning. I thought that was a disservice because Penning will probably perform better if you don't just give Penning the job. It was supposed to be a competition for the guard spot. The Saints gave the job to Penning. They just gave it to him and then moved Redunce, who was supposed to be the guy competing with him, tried to cross-train him at blindside tackle. That was crazy. That was insane. No, let them compete. Let them compete. But they're trying to validate Trevor Penning's draft status. They're trying to find a spot for him to play, even though he might not be, he ain't better than, Trevor Penning is not better as a guard than Torricelli Simpkins. He's not better as a guard than Dylan Redunce. It's just not. It's just not. He's just not. He's not there. So I hope that they see that and be like, okay, we did what we can do. There's no dishonor in being a swing tackle, even though you don't need them to do that now because you just picked up a bunch of people. But at the end, bro, I don't know if you can fix that. You can't, you got two tackles and that's better than him. Kelvin Banks and whatchamacallit. Now, if the Saints really felt like something, and I knew when Kellen Moore came in the door, he was like, yeah, my bookends is Tolly, moving Tolly to right and drafted Kelvin Banks Jr. Some people thought Kelvin Banks could play guard too, in which he can play guard. So a lot of people thought at first that they would have Penning right tackle, then you would just have him to kick into guard. And that would have been something to have them two guys on the same side of the field. But in the end, they elected to make them the tackles. And that would be a position that the Saints focus on the draft next year. Watch and see. Next year's draft, the Saints will focus on guard play. Watch. They're going to focus on getting guards here, right? You're going to see. Because that's the thing. They had a phenomenal draft this year. Next year, be more guards. They're going to focus on some offensive linemen. Bishop says Rattler about to get in there and cut it up. Going to make Gangsta Grills. Wish he used that second-round pick on someone else other than Tyler. All right. Thank you, bro. All right. Desi said, hopefully we can draft well again. Yeah, we will. This wasn't no. They had 9 picks and they got them all right. Fam, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying that all over again. Let me put them up because there it is right there. Fam, they had the Saints drafted. They had 9 draft picks. They did not trade. And this was the phenomenal thing about this draft that I cannot overstate. They had 9 draft picks. They did not trade any of the picks. They drafted all 9 players. They drafted all 9 players. They drafted all 9 players on some Umar Johnson type shit. They drafted all 9 players, and all 9 of them almost made the team, except for Fadil Diggs, who was slightly beat out by Chris Rump II. And Fadil Diggs should have made the team on the practice squad. When the last time you seen the Saints do that? And not just they say, okay, Q, they just put them on the team. No, all of these guys, you seen them, they could play. Kelvin Banks Jr. could play. Tyler Shuck is looked at as a franchise guy in the future. Vernon Brockton's raw, but he can play. Jonas Sanker's a beast. Danny Stutzman's a beast. Quincy Riley's a beast. Devin Neal, you seen him. He's good. This guy was a 6th-round pick, all-time leading running back from the University of Kansas. He's your 3rd-string running back now. Matavo, who was considered a 4th or 5th-round tight end prospect in the 7th round, Saints got him. He is number 2's tight end right now, and Fadil's on the practice squad. And he could have beat easily. It was a toss-up between Chris Rump and Fadil Diggs. But Fadil Diggs was that good. I'm just saying, man, this was a phenomenal draft for the Saints. That's why they feel like, hey, man, we don't need all these picks next year because with all these guys, they done added in. They got undrafted guys they're going to bring in, a Q free agent. See, the thing is, if they continue to have solid drafts like this and develop talent, the Saints are going to win long term because they don't have to spend a ton of money on veterans to do this, that, and the third. These guys will step in. When Cam leaves, Vernon Brockton's going to take that job. When DeMario leaves, Danny Stutzman's going to take that job, right? One of the safety positions, if one of them guys leave, if they want to move on, because Julian Blackman's just a 1-year signing contract. Saints feel like for Jonas Kostek, he'll take that position. Matavo is being prepped to be, he'll be playing the 2-man look. So these guys are, and Fadil Diggs eventually going to get on that team. Somebody going to end up, getting hurt, and he's going to step on the team off the practice squad. So like I said, man, they have another draft similar to this next year, man. They're building through the draft like this, man. The Saints are going to be a very good team. This was a phenomenal draft, and it was not by coincidence. They did a phenomenal job with this year's draft, and you're starting to see it as these players are on the active roster. I can't say that enough, fam. Y'all hit the like button. English says, how you doing, Q? Who's going to kick return? As far as what we're looking at, bro, kick returners, Velus Jones Jr. is looking at the kick return duties. Trey Palmer's also an option there. But, those are the 2 guys. Now, I don't want to see Rashid Shaheed or Kendre Miller doing it. But as for we'll be looking at the returners, it appears to be Velus Jones and possibly Trey Palmer, who the Saints just picked up, who also has very good special team application. Thank you, bro. All right. Tasha says, Q, now you making me want to go to yeah. And HEB and get Sean and I some ice cream. You are such a bad Hey, but hold on, Tasha. That's not on me. That's on the Saints, baby. The Saints talking all this vanilla playbook and all this old stuff. And I said vanilla. Y'all talking vanilla? Hold on here. I don't like regular vanilla, but I like Bluebell homemade vanilla. Yeah, shit. I like that. And then we started talking. I'm like, hold on. Let's talk. We don't know. So I just started using ice cream vernacular, baby. That's what I started doing. So I started saying, okay, we don't want to see vanilla stuff. How about some Neapolitan, baby? Let's get that going on. Let's see how that looks. So what's the opposite of vanilla offense? Neapolitan. And that's how that shit went. All right, but sorry, Ty. I'm sorry y'all got to go buy all this ice cream. I'm sorry. I even threw waffle cones up, and I don't know what's going on. I threw a cookie cake in there. Y'all pardon me. Who got Cold Stone? What you call it? Cold Stone Creamery? I don't think they call that no more. where I'm at is something else. I think they combined it with the American Cookie Company. I think the American Cookie Company, where I used to buy them, I buy cookie cakes. My boys love cookie cakes for their birthday. Then they have the ice cream company is merged with them. I think it's Cold Stone and something else now. I don't know. But yeah, man, them people high, man. So I'm like, yeah. So I had to start looking at. I don't even like shopping at Walmart. I start buying my cookie cakes from over there, man. People be high with a cookie cake. Sheesh. But yeah, cookie cake and ice. You know what? That's enough of that. I promise I'm not talking about the ice cream or the cookie cake or the waffle cones anymore, baby. That's it. All right. What's up, KT? KT says, Q, once I get situated, I'll have you guest star on my Cologne review channel. Okay, go ahead, KT. Cologne review. Playboy KT with the Cologne review. All right, baby. I hear you, my brother. That sounds like a winner, bro. All right, Bishop says Rui's getting beat by folks that's going to be on the couch with a and if he keep getting beat by people that's going to be on the couch, his ass going to be on the couch too. Jim Kev says Ruiz is a center. He'll be a decent center. I don't think he'd be a decent center. He ain't strong enough to play no center. Bro, the transition to guard for a center is supposed to be a lot easier. The responsibilities are less. You know, if you wanted him to play center, that's a whole nother thing. But if you have a guard in the center and you trying to get him to play center, he probably would have been developed as a center if you'd kept him there. But that was Sean Payton's idea. Sean Payton's idea was to allow the man to develop and play the center position because he wanted to kick McCoy over the guard. He wanted McCoy to play guard. He's seen something in McCoy. I don't know what he's seen in McCoy to make him want to draft Ruiz. But he wanted to move Eric McCoy to guard. And that's why Cesar Ruiz was drafted, which I was against the whole thing. Because I was like, you don't draft a young offensive lineman in the center of your team when you have a quarterback like Drew Brees, because Drew was the quarterback who could not move. Drew could not move at all. He could not get out of harm's way. You don't want to have that issue. And when I said this is a bad thing. So when they drafted the guy and we got into the season, he got beat by Katavius Street, and Drew was trying to throw the ball, and Katavius put every bit of his 325 pounds on top of Drew Brees and crushed his little bitty tail up. That he beat Cesar Ruiz badly. Ruiz was so beat on that play, he couldn't even grab Street and hold on to him. That's how bad he got beat. I mean, the guy is just like, man, it was a bad bet. But Cesar Ruiz, they kicked him to guard. They thought they can hide him there and say, well, you could play guard. But he struggled the first 2 or 3 years. Then when he got close to his contract, he had a decent year. He was motivated to do better because he wanted to payday. As soon as they got the money, he went right back to what he was. A guy that's not sound with his technique. And he be hearing it on, I'm hearing it, but he be hearing people telling him he not that good. And he had, well, I got one sack I gave up. They talking about I'm not good. No, it ain't about your sacks. You're giving up about domination, man. You letting guys, you opening the door and guys running after your quarterback and him smart enough to get away and throw the ball away is not a good look on you because he didn't collect a sack. You know, you're supposed to stand up at the point of impact. So I don't know. We got to keep an eye on Cesar Ruiz. I'm just glad a lot of people starting to see it because I used to be feeling like I was on an island talking about this guy ain't that good, y'all. I've been saying that. Rosin says, Q, I worked at Baskin Robbins in the 80s. Okay. Baskin Robbins, that's the joint, man. That ice cream high, man. Why that ice cream so high? They got gold and platinum embedded in the ice cream. Why that ice cream so high over there, Rosin? Why is that? Who that record say they should trade Pennant and Olave because you can't afford Olave and Pennant hasn't played good. Well, I mean, the Saints got $20 million still, fam. Hold on, let me do a little check. Let me do a quick check on that. Let me check out the Saints still got $20-something million in cap money, fam. I mean, they still got money, even though they're making these moves. The Saints still have $20-something million. They're not a poor team. I want to see, let me see, maybe. Let me make sure of that, fam. Give me a second. Let me pull that up because I want to see where we are with that. Because I know that the Saints been trying to do all this stuff. They've been making a lot of moves lately. And let me see where their team cap space. Okay, so after all the moves, okay, the Saints are wow, the Saints money done dropped, fam. Did y'all know that? The Saints money done dropped down. Look, this is over the cap. The Saints had over $20 million with all these moves the Saints made. Look, they done got down to $7 million now with all the cap moves, fam. Y'all see that? Let me get the big screen up here. There you go, fam. With the moves, the Saints had over 20 million. They're now down to 7.1 mil since all these moves that they've been making. So they're down to 7 million. That's interesting, man. So there you go, fam. Saints no longer have 20 million. They're down to 7. I don't know if y'all knew that. All right. Yeah, he said, I think Reginald says, I think Saints will make the playoffs wild card team with the Who Dat family. All right. Bishop said, what's our depth at the running back position? At running back, bro, the depth is Elvin Kamara at 1, Kendre Miller, Devin Neal, and Velus Jones Jr. Those are the 4 running backs. You got 4. Kellen kept 4 running backs and 6 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks. All right, so you in 9 offensive linemen. So you got 4 backups with our 5 starters. Very interesting mix, you know. Derek Queen. Yeah, I like Derek Queen too. All right. Oh, y'all. Oh, wow. Like an hour away from the Bluebell factory. Oh, man. That's all right, brother. What's up, Debbie? Shout out to Debbie. Good afternoon to you. All right. KT says, Q, I never forgive Sean for drafting Ruiz over Jordan. Yeah, I remember that, bro. Ruiz, I was like, I was so upset that the Saints drafted Cesar Ruiz because I thought it was a wasted pick. Because I was like, they had Larry Warford. All Sean Payton had to do was keep Larry Warford. I don't know what was going on with this thing. I don't know if Larry Warford slapped one of Sean Payton's St. Bernard jaws or whatever happened. You know, I don't know what happened. But something wasn't right because Sean Payton, that playoff, y'all remember that playoff failure that happened. And nobody was doing anything in that game. The only guy that was doing something was Taysom Hill. And the Saints looked bad against Minnesota. When that was over with, he released Larry Warford, who still had a year on his contract. And Larry said, I want us to play. And Sean Payton released him and then started this whole Cesar Ruiz thing. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And it was just one of these things that he left us with, like the Cesar Ruiz thing. And Cesar Ruiz been here all the time, and he's not lived up to his first round billing. He earned the contract off a 1-year play, but he's not been good. He's not good at that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, English says Seattle cut MVS, I think. Bring him back. Yeah, I talked about that early on, bro. I remember they cut MVS. Mad Drummer, what's up, bro? Says Q. Should we at least call Jerry about if the Saints ain't had that discussion, bro? I don't know what happened. If you have any player, I don't care who they are. If you got a player that's disgruntled, I mean, this guy is like, if you got the top 10 players, if you name the top 25 elite level players in the NFL, that guy got to be somewhere in there, man. He got to be in there somewhere in there. If any time you got a guy like Parsons and they serious about trading him, you got to at least make a phone call to see, hey, man, what y'all want? And you know what the funny part about it is, though, fam? The funny part about that whole thing? Who was the last team to trade with the Cowboys? You don't think we asked about them then? Who was the last team to trade with the Cowboys? Huh? I'm just saying. Who was the last team to trade with the Cowboys? You think was it the Steelers? No, it was us. We did. Wasn't we the last one to trade? We traded for that tight end, that tackle we got. Akeem Richards. We traded with them. We traded with the Cowboys last. We got Akeem Richards, the backup swing tackle. You think the Saints didn't ask about Parsons then? if they up there trying to trade with the Cowboys, you don't think the Saints asked about Parsons? That's right. That's right, Tasha Buckham. That's right, Tasha Buckham. Just saying. Right, boss man? Boss man said, yep, the lineman. Yep. I'm just saying. If we trading with the Cowboys for Richards, Akeem Richards, the swing tackle, the Saints traded with the Cowboys. We're the last team to literally trade with these folks. We not asking them about what's up with Parsons. Just saying. Just saying. It's interesting. We'll see. But I don't think Parsons going. And like I said, fam, remember I talked about this thing with Trey Richardson. And I said, we talked about people say, Q, you think the Saints should go after Trey Richardson? I said, yeah. Richardson would make a lot of sense for the Saints because he's an elite level defensive end. You have to move some stuff around, but Richardson would be interested. And I said that Bengals is not going to trade Richardson. They saber rattling. They're going to ultimately pay him his money, and that's exactly what they did. The Commanders did it with Terry McLaurin. That offense is not the same if Terry McLaurin is not in there with Jaden Daniels. They have a synergy, a chemistry. Those two guys have something they special in that offense. So you got to pay them. So you're going to try to hold them out as long as you can. And they did the same thing with Trey Richardson. Trey Richardson probably didn't get what he wanted, but he got damn near close to it. The whole Jerry Jones fiasco is ego-driven. It's something dealing with Jerry Jones. Then he sneaking behind the back, talk to the player over the agent, this type of thing. You don't do that. That's bad business, Jerry. You'd be offended if they did that to you. So at some point, I expect Jerry Jones to sign Parsons. But I ain't no doubt about it in my mind that if I'm the Saints and I go and I trade with the Cowboys to get Akeem Richards, I'm not asking them about, okay, now that we got that done, what you know about Parsons? What y'all want for Parsons? No way. Parsons is not going nowhere. I hear the stuff they got rumors about him in Green Bay, all that bull. Man, the people are not going to give Parsons to Green Bay. This is a saber rattle move by Jones. If they was going to trade that man, they'd have been traded him by now. This is a wait out move. That's why I said about Trey Hendrickson that they were saber rattling. It got personal with Jerry Jones and his agent person. But you got to get back to business. It's not personal. This is business. That guy makes that team a threat. He's an elite level player in absolute, I ain't gonna say even in his prime, because you can see that guy could get a lot better than what he can get better than what he is now. But he's an elite level player. You have to pay those guys. So Jerry Jones, man, eventually he ain't gonna like it, but he gotta pay Parsons, man. Like it ain't something that a guy has an elevated value of himself and not the stats to back it up. Parsons got the stats to back it up. Your team not the same if he's not out there. He's a game changer. And then Jerry said, well, I got this guy under contract. He got to come back and play. Now you got him under contract, but is that how you really want to play it? The guy wants his money. Why not pay him? Just give him his money and throw all his personal garbage out and get back to football, because that's what the support base want to see. They want to see Parsons signed on a respectable deal, and it'd be about the business of football again. And there's not that in Cowboy country, and that's unfortunate. Because if he allows this stuff to drag into the regular season, the Cowboy people will be the biggest losers of it all. They'll be the biggest losers of this crap. I say the same thing I said about the Bengals. That they're going to, like I told y'all, they were going to pay Parsons and they were just saber rattling. I say the same damn thing about the Cowboys. Jerry Jones got to pay Parsons. You don't get what you going to trade him for. Picks for what? And then he kind of crazy because he already said that the biggest thing is not winning. Winning's not everything. If you're in a competitive sport like the NFL, winning is everything. People are not giving you money to watch you lose. I mean, you might lose games, but people will be upset if they give their hard-earned money to you and your team is out there half-assing it. You need players. You need your elite players to give you an advantage out there. And Parsons is one of these dudes. Give him his money. He's an elite level player. You're a damn billionaire. That's the whole thing about these greedy folks. These people, this dude is a vampire out here. This dude, eyes red like he's smoking weed. He 1,000 years old. He got one of these. It looked like he got one of these alien masks on. Like he got all of his stuff. He's just old. He's just old and dilapidated looking, messing up everything. Give that money up. Give it to him. You're a billionaire, man. Give that money to that boy, man. Pay that man his money, man. The man is an elite level player. Your team ain't the same. You talking about giving him up for picks? Man, cut that out, man. You got that guy. Go ahead and give him his damn money and stop playing games. That's what I say about it. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson. That's what I said. Man. What I said, bro. All right. I thought I said Hendrickson. That's all I'm saying, fam. All right. I don't know if Cam Hayward got paid yet, bro. I'm not sure on that. Desi says maybe they need to restructure that and pay. Whatever you got to do, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just sick of Jerry Jones. That ain't even my damn team, but I feel for them Cowboy people, man. I feel for the Cowboy people. We don't have such a agitation with the Cowboy people as we do with some of our Falcon family members. But if you go east, it's the Falcons. If you go west, it's the Cowboys. But I almost feel for him because Jerry Jones is like a billionaire version of Mickey Loomis, and Mickey ain't a vampire yet, but Jerry Jones is definitely look like he amongst the ranks of the undead. Let's just put it to you like that. Did y'all know that? Y'all got a ghoul as a I'm not gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there. Jerry Jones is amongst the ranks of the undead. Y'all got an undead owner over there. All right. Yes, he will die as the GM. Yes, he will. Unless somebody buy the team, Mickey Loomis gonna ride that gravy train as far as he can take it. Especially with the Saints about to turn their fortunes around. Mickey Loomis gonna take full credit. Well, hold on now. I ain't hired him. I ain't hired. Hold on now. Y'all gonna give me my goddamn respect. I hired Kellen Moore. I did that. Hold on now, Mickey gonna post high. You're gonna be like, hey, this I did this. I'm responsible. I did it. That's what he gonna do. That's what's gonna happen. Mickey gonna take full credit for all this, and people gonna sit up there and say, yeah, well, Mickey Q, you wrong. You wrong about Mickey Q. So we're gonna forget the fact that we forced Gail to fire Dennis Allen, who Mickey wouldn't have not fired if we didn't put pressure on them to do it. We're gonna forget that part of the detail, right? Because without that little smidgen of detail there, you would still have Dennis Allen this year. He would have not fired Dennis Allen. He said as much. But we're gonna still give him credit. Well, Q, you gotta give him credit. You gotta give me credit. I hired Kellen Moore. I did that. Okay, Mickey, you hired him. There you go. All right, Jerry Jones is the reason why St. Louis don't have a team. DGX, shout out to you, bro. English says he looks like, yeah, I know he do. Jerry Jones is too old to be messing around with them people's affairs. I thought he had children that he had that's supposed to be doing something. He got people. The man got a VP and a general manager. Why is he involved? Why are you trying to talk to the player and negotiate a contract with the player directly and you a multimillionaire? That's what he got an agent for. That's disrespectful, Jerry. And then he be the first one to sit here and talk about, that's disrespectful to me that the guy went and just talked behind my damn back. What's your point? The point is, Jerry, get your old ass out the way and pay that man. That's what you do. Yeah, old Chihuahua, yes. Reginald says the vampire. That's right. We got the dude from the Titanic. Victor. That was on, y'all seen Titanic, the richest man on the boat in Titanic, the movie with DiCaprio. Y'all know the richest man was Victor from the soap opera, Days of Our Lives, Victor. Victor was the richest man on the boat. That's and you know they had them old timey suits on. That's where he come out there with them old timey suits, his hair slicked back. Oh yeah, he definitely a vampire. But that boy be flying around the towers at night of Atlanta, you know, flying around, boy. And if you out there, your ass is grass. Blank's gonna get you. All right, you know, you get out the way. I'm tired of that. Ain't even my team, and I feel bad for them people out there. Cowboy Nation, bro, I feel bad for y'all, bro. We praying for y'all, man, to get that old bastard out the way. Now, I don't want nothing to happen to him. But I literally heard one of them dudes say he wants Jerry to expire and go to the next world. I was like, damn. The dude said that on his show, online. The dude said he just wants him to get out the way. He wants him to transition. I'm like, no. We don't ever want somebody. But they said that. I'm like, no matter how mad I get at Mickey Loomis, you'll never hear me say that about anything. But they were saying that about that man. Jarrell says we're not going to win with Mickey's GM. We going to win now, bro. I mean, I think they're headed in the right direction. I really do think that. Kim, what's up, Kim? Says y'all be talking about chewing gum Mickey, but I'll take him every day over Jerry. You know what? You're right. If it came down to Jerry Jones and Mickey Loomis, I will take Mickey Loomis all day over Jerry Jones. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I'm just sorry. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to take that every time. Jerry Jones is a problem. You know, he's a problem. All right, Favu says, Q, the only thing worse than being a Cowboys fan is being a Falcon. Count Blankula. That's right. Y'all got it. That's right. Flying around the town looking for people. Pull homeless people missing and shit. Got to cover up their necks at night. KT says, Q, Slick Mickey likes plain generic store brand, but no, he do. But gourmet clam chowder, he loves that shit. And orange juice. He ain't lying. That's right. All right. Yeah, that's why we gotta live in the gym in New Orleans. Everything food. Yeah, it is. Food's good down here. It is. We got to back up off that table, though. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, listen, fam, we're gonna get ready to get on up out of there, man. I hope y'all enjoyed yourself. Do me a service, hit that like button. Hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, also feel free to sub up to the coma. We've been this thing. I know I'm a little early than my regular time to talk to the family members, but I had a little extra time. My schedule's a little different nowadays. So I'll be kind of having an opportunity to jump on when I can to talk about the Saints. So I hope y'all guys enjoyed the stream today. Hit that like button, hit the sub button if you're not a sub. Also, the share button is also cool, and notification bell as well. Support our sponsors. Links in the description section below. Check out our website, thewhothatdaily.com. We in here putting in some good work. And shout out to our membership family, our YouTube membership and Patreon champion membership. We're going to keep this thing moving and grooving, man. We're going to be adding some more stuff to the Patreon side. We open up with the talk show and talk about more of the trending topics as well, the stuff that we mentioned. I got some good feedback from the family members via Patreon and direct message about some covering trending topics and stuff like that. If y'all have any more ideas, I had a lot of ideas already, but if you have any more ideas for that, please feel free to share them at our email at the PRO Media Network at gmail.com. That's the THEPRO Media Network at gmail.com. Just subject it as show idea or trending topic to cover, and we'll also do that as well. All right. He said, when will Robbie join us? You talking about my boy? We'll probably see down the line, man. He'll pop up there and talk about him, man. We'll see. I know we got Pops. It's a family affair. You got the sons, you got the Pops. It's a family affair at Tacoma, right? All right, it is, man. All right, so anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get on out of it. I appreciate y'all, man. I thank y'all, man, for the donations and the support. And I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day. And I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Much love. Who that to you. Peace.
Yeah. Boogie Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, brother like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like this, and I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network. WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat.